Is this shot calling practice, right?
No.
Yeah. Is my mic better? Or like, does it sound better than it used to at least? Does it used to be quiet?
A lot better.
Okay.
What is my SR today?
That's too bad. We climbed a bit up.
What's that, bud?
We all climbed a bit.
Oh shit, I dropped a
I mean,
shit
I'm
ton.
exactly where I started.
Gotcha.
I'm down to climb all night, so.
Oh, damn it, dude. I want
I
some.
mean, I have Monday off, so.
Get to watch your VODs though. It's
You have to watch a VOD, is that what you just said?
Well, the lesson, no? This is gonna go on.
Oh, we're watching something? Sorry. All I saw was shot calling. I didn't hear exactly what we were doing.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a VOD. He's gonna make for us. It's a lesson. It's supposed to be for everyone that wants to learn it, but it's just like it's supposed to be for the plat team in general. But who knows if they're gonna show up? Besides,
We need to fix that.
Here we go.
we got this.
Traveling to Horizon
Fuck.
Fair to
Call
attack.
this map.
Select
Oh, love it. Insta-locking Moira. Wait, who else went? God fucking damn it, dude.
Hey,
You hesitated, Sven.
it's good.
Yep, you did.
Why does every fucking
free
support
home
have to
run
play
and
Moira?
Because she's
They're
broken right now. So
Dog
She's
shit at
evil.
everybody else.
because they can't aim.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
What do you want to do, Pichu?
You're on Winston, so I don't know.
I mean, I can play whatever.
Wait, what are we running though? I need to know what we're running because we can't run dive with fucking 2 hit scan players.
Oh, you want to run dive? We'll run dive. We'll run dive. We'll do dive. We're doing dive. We're doing dive. We're doing dive. Give me Tracer, you goddamn piece of shit.
Oh, fuck you. Go
Blue.
to it.
Wow.
No time for standing
I'm sorry.
around.
It's just I love Asian.
one shot. One kill.
Now you're racist too.
Attack.
I'm guessing there's no chance we can keep her
Classic.
quiet.
Locked profile, Moira one trick.
It's fine, don't worry about it. It's fine. Winston, you wanna go
What's
Winston?
up?
Winston ball.
No.
You touch point, pull them down to
Otherwise,
point,
it's a
and
pretty
then we'll
game.
claim high ground. Easy clap.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's play.
Set up our widow.
My
That's play. I go
business,
Ashen.
follow my
Yep,
rules.
ditto. Yeah, you're right.
5,
So let me guys first point, and then you guys can push in on that.
1 kill. Very well.
One. Attack.
I could first
Go
point.
tickle the point.
I'm not gonna shoot it.
Oh shit, we're going this way. Okay, I got you.
Here, I'll first point. I'll first point.
I'm on Asian, so.
They're all top right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Top right.
They're Ryan Zarya on a soldier.
Maybe go for a
Can I get some heals on Winston?
Let's go.
Oh, careful, careful. I got you. I got you.
Junk hack, damn.
Ah, shit.
Taking high ground from him. Ryan's by himself.
Okay, careful. I'm not up there.
I don't want-
Coming up. Alright, I'm with you. Ah, shit.
Oh, I got junk hack, junk half.
Push your vision.
Thank you.
Just what they need.
On a one.
Trying. Oh, shit.
Moira
Fading
one,
away.
Moira one.
Sorry, on your tap, sorry.
Going on Zarya.
On a no ability. Chuck it on one, chuck it on one.
Oh, shit.
Junk
Not
hack,
here.
kill junk hack, kill junk hack. Everyone kill junk
Not
hack.
here,
Focus
bye.
junk hack.
Nice.
Not up hill yet.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Oh, this res.
Got
Stay
you.
alive, stay alive,
Let's
stay
go,
alive.
let's go.
Sorry, I can die.
Zarya one.
Huge.
Healing. I got
Top
you.
Winston.
Right.
I'm good.
Ryan's by himself. Ryan split.
Get that Ryan.
On a one. On a no name.
Let's go.
I got Moira hack, backline.
Okay, we take point.
Soldier low.
No fade.
Let's get it.
Just hold point.
No one can hide.
More dies. More. Here, buddy.
Yeah.
God fucking damn it, dude. That stupid ass tire.
Zarya's on me.
Now you have my attention.
Low. I'm probably gonna die here.
Kill the soldier.
You got bubbled. And heal station.
Yeah, retake.
Going away.
Reset.
I'm falling back.
Okay, we can do this. Almost have lines.
Comp's okay, the comp's okay. I think we're good.
Fuck off, you stupid Moira one
There's a
trick.
soldier on me.
Let's check this fucking
regroup.
He was that one dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that even
All right.
making those?
So, are they playing point? No, they're on high ground. Let's point pressure again. Stay alive for mines. You're the win condition right now.
Yep.
Sending your way. I'm trying coming up.
I got soldier and Ana. Yeah.
I'm down.
I got mortar though.
God damn it.
So Ana's.
It's okay. Just reset. We're down
I
2.
got you.
Yo,
I got EMP. I got EMP.
Sorry, I'm not
playing just a little too fast right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try going high ground. Or not. Okay.
They did shatter. Probably got shattered with a tire.
You ready to go in?
Probably soldier.
Yeah.
I could.
What supports your top left?
I'm gonna pressure point here. Pressuring point.
Heading over.
All right, they're off point. Off high ground.
On one.
Ana down. Going on Ryan half.
Mine's up point.
Whole tank.
Come on. Mine's up.
Ryan.
Shit,
More one.
I've been ulted.
Reloading.
I got trapped.
Soldier hack. Soldier no ult.
Dude, kill Ryan. Ryan is 3. Needs to kill Ryan.
Junker in the back. Comes tire.
You guys win that.
Oh yeah, that's winnable.
Tire. No.
No.
What is Zamora doing? How's Zamora already dead? I don't understand.
I mean,
Every
they're
fucking Mario face, dude.
Brains out.
30 seconds remaining.
They think they're gods.
Hard.
More dead. I traded. They have tracer now. They have tracer.
No one can.
Yeah, it's winnable, dude. You got 5 up there. Just go point. Go
Zarya
point
has
all
ult.
targets.
Can I get help?
Yeah, I'm on point with you. Zarya. Look at Zarya. I'm multi.
Focus.
More on a low.
Healing.
Mega.
Tracer low. Tracer
On a behind point.
Tracer's behind point. Tap it.
Tracer hack. Tracer hack.
I'm dead.
Tracer one. Tracer. Tracer.
You have Widow.
She got
Of
out.
course, our fucking Mario's dead again.
I got more hack.
Damn, you guys got there quickly.
Oh my god. Okay.
Do you want me to switch Lucio?
I'm going Tracer.
Sending more your way, Hammond.
They got a widow now.
No recall.
Widow one.
Help Ryan.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to fly back.
I have ult. I have ult.
Somebody peek.
Oh shit, that was
Get in my
early.
line of sight. Let's go.
Where's tap? Tap where you at?
Top right.
They still top right?
Widow.
I'm anti.
Tracer behind.
Widow top left.
Tracer
Okay.
behind.
Yeah, we're down 3.
down.
We're down 3. Just run.
Fall back.
Widow down. I killed widow.
Reset. Full reset. Who's in there?
Yeah, it's fine.
Blue.
Go back to the Winston.
Maybe flank dive.
I might want to drop them a tree then.
Yeah, Widow's been top left.
I
Widow's been
could kill the
top
widow. I
left.
could kill the widow right now.
Healing.
Tracer no recall.
Y'all are fine.
Widow down.
Help Winston.
I got you, Pim.
On point.
I'm on Tracer.
Don't worry.
Alright, I'm going point. Just go point. Force them point.
Point. Signal low.
Zarya, no personal.
Nice.
Go, sorry.
Down
No
the tree now?
protected.
I'm dead.
Zar down. Going on where?
Tracer.
Retreat top right. Retreat top right.
I'm on board. No recall.
Good point.
God damn it.
Tracer
one.
1. Tracer 1.
McCree down.
Alright,
Yeah, dude,
yeah,
I was
falling
blind,
back,
dude.
falling back.
Fucking win.
60 seconds remaining.
They definitely have grab. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to like go in quick, I think. Set up the high noon. Kree, you just gotta stay high ground.
Almost have like a bunch of bullets here.
Alright,
They're all high
I'm
ground.
going in. Point pressure.
Healing. I got you, Pim.
And it's top left.
Tracer
I got left.
And it's top left.
Let's go. My line of sight. I got you.
Zarya no personal.
Fucking Trace. I'm dead.
Tracer, no recall.
There one.
Oh.
Bro, that's so stupid.
Tracer needs to get shut
That
down.
fucking
Like,
Trace.
I can't do anything.
Jesus.
Literally, like we're playing super pulling our diving. And I tried to see for a good
Objective or it's all over.
Oh shit, okay.
Oh, where is this?
Healing.
Oh, back.
Mora one.
Good. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Ana down.
Oh, dude, this down. Careful.
Sigma.
Yeah, there's the grab.
Healers are down. Their healers are down.
They're down 3.
I have the Kumi on me. Yeah.
Need help with the Zarya. Zarya 1.
Make it. That's a move.
Round one.
Get the fuck off Moira, please. Go.
Okay, defense is still possible.
Either you can't do anything, I'm freaking Moira. Like, support.
Score.
Feature, you're a little low, bud.
Yeah, you're low.
Switching sides.
Maybe. Well, I could take off the headset.
Prepare your
Sorry.
defenses.
What do you want to do here then?
Select
Ah,
your
okay,
hero.
so who do I play?
Go Mercy.
What healer? Alright, I got you.
Thank you. So what do you want to do here? Tab double shield down or what?
Absolutely.
Alright, Lingard Sigma.
Orisa. Out of Orisa.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point in Ryan on this because there's so many high grounds around the point.
True.
You want to just go? Do you just want to go Bastion Bunker on this?
Too risky.
I mean,
There's
if
a
you
lot
shut
of
down their
counters to
tanks, they
that.
can't move in.
That's true.
We just need
Yeah,
Blue
that
needs to
gets
be on
taken.
something that can handle the flank.
Bunker.
Because, like, if Tracer starts point
Yeah.
pressuring, it's gonna suck.
Can
I'll
you?
go
Is
Kree.
Sombra a good call here?
I'll go Kree. I'll go Kree.
Yeah, I guess I can have one.
There we go. Let's play right above point, not the normal hole, but like
Sven, you
Yeah.
Directly
pull out
center.
Your, you can pull out your valve. Oh,
I can.
never mind. We'll just keep this. We'll keep this.
it's fine.
The only reason I say no is because I don't want this Moira to go DPS again.
So let's hold here, and if they contest point, I'll drop on Sigma. You guys stay up here as
Yeah,
long as
gotcha.
possible.
Greetings.
I don't think we need to hold there, Pichu.
Yeah, you want to hold back there? Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the
Features
Tracer
behind.
touching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Objective A.
And this is fine. You can still halt that room they like to go in, so it's whatever.
They have a break. This should be easy.
Yep. I'll contest point. Don't drop.
Tracer's behind. She's on stairs.
She's
Left
coming up.
side.
She's coming up. She's coming up. No recall. No recall.
Monkey left side. Monkey half.
I'm zoning out. Tracer.
Left
Play
side.
away from them. Play away from their front line.
fell.
Play away from the front line.
Tracer low
Nice,
stairs.
nice. Good, good.
I'm on point. I'm on
Point. Just
Don't worry,
break.
I'm on
don't worry,
point.
don't
I'm
worry.
on point. Don't drop.
Don't drop.
Yep, do your thing.
I'm on brick. Brick down.
Good, good,
I'm
good.
pushing Moira left
Now,
side.
Sombra.
Yeah.
Moira no fade under.
Healing coming up.
Nice, nice.
Let's go back up top. Back up top.
Back on top.
Yeah, good, good, good.
Yeah, yeah. Tracer down. Huge.
Nice.
And we play as unit, guys. We work together as unit.
Sombra.
He's out.
Yeah, just sit here and press a button. That's my job, dude.
Fuck. I fell again.
Literally, free SR if you just.
They have Sombra now. I'll contest point. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
let's go.
Can you halt that room?
Hell yeah, let's go. Nice.
I'm on Sombra. I'm on Sombra.
There's play for Shadow.
Alright, I have full lessons from they push. Watch the EMP though. It's gonna be our biggest thing.
Sombra's going. Point.
I hacked her. I shot her. I shot
I-
her.
Yeah. She's out of here.
Alright.
You'll get charged.
Force
Make
the
sure
trans.
our Bastion does not get charged.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
We got fortified for that.
Oh shit.
I'm down. Tracer. Low ground.
I need to come.
Yeah.
I'm alone with the break.
I'm on point. I'm on point.
I'm gonna die. I'm dead.
We got no heals.
Point.
Fell down.
Okay, why were we dicking away around there, bro? Got this.
Yeah, that's a dude.
Something on the comp, or we changing something out here?
Alright, don't worry, stay there. I'm gonna use you.
They're gonna snowball. They're gonna have a snowball here.
This is
Alright.
G, to be honest with you.
Got you. Fam.
Objective lost. New
I can hold them for 4 minutes.
They're going main.
Alright. Let's go.
The Ryan's all alone. Main.
No, he's not.
Fucking one now.
Alright, yeah, they're not. Oh, I hacked.
There's no recall.
Where no recall?
Right side.
Rover.
Thank you.
Rover.
Break on right. Break on right.
He's got pulse bomb, by the way.
Nice.
Uh-oh, Tracer.
Ryan's feeding.
Healing. Let's go. Get him.
I'm going on Sombra.
Let's go, Bash.
Sombra down.
Hell yeah, boys.
I'm gonna push on this Moira.
They have EMP. They just burned pulse bomb. They have rally. They're playing for tank ult.
Alright, going back to bats. Actually, no, I'll damage boosted. Alright, heading back.
Back up, back up.
I got you back.
Play split. They definitely have EMP.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
No, here's what I do. I'm gonna play with Bastion. He's gonna play with Bastion. I'm gonna stun EMP.
Yeah. Nice.
Right room. Tracer's there too.
Sigma, I can heal.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh no! Oh no!
So
Go install.
That's bad. Dead, bro.
Yeah, we didn't get hardly any picks on that.
That was so close. I almost stunned her out of her EMP.
Mhm.
I was literally like
Play of
probably a
the
tenth of a
game.
second late.
I guess. Yo, I'm eating right now. I'll be ready.
Double kill.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab something to eat / drink while I wait. Cause I guess we're doing the practice here in a second.
Seems like it.
Oh. Be right back.
Holy crap! This guy's boosted.
What happened? The Mora?
Yeah.
Oh, that happens.
So sick of it, dude. Like it's just fucking annoying. Like if you can't play Moira and all you're gonna do is fucking DPS, you might as well not even play the game.
Unlucky, dude. I still learned to play Ana. It's done. Oh man, because you want to DPS, just play Ana. Simple as that. You can heal and DPS at the same time.
Yep.
How do we get split on that first point, by the way?
I'm not sure.
Hey boy. Yes.
Holy shit! Somebody made Mario Party in Overwatch.
Arriving at Shadow Gate.
One shot. One kill. One kill. One shot. One kill.
Enemy needs 15
One
kills
shot.
to win.
One kill.
Enemy needs 10 kills to win.
I'm on fire. One shot. One kill. One shot. One kill.
Enemy needs 5 kills to win.
One kill.
Enemy needs 4 kills to win. Enemy needs 3 kills. Enemy needs 2 kills. Match complete. Play of the game. Traveling to Havana.
One shot. One kill.
Double
Let's try that again.
Alright, Cam.
Yep.
double
Yes.
Give me 1 second. Almost done.
So wild with the game.
We're just waiting for practice.
One
arriving
shot.
at Chateauguay.
One kill.
Hello. Hello?
One shot. One kill.
What's up?
I'm trying to keep my hands warm right now.
So we'll be using Q.GG again.
I almost feel something.
The first portion of this lesson is going to be movie time, so
What are we using again? Basics?
One shot.
Q.GG. I'll send a
One
link.
kill.
I'll post it in general.
Are you ready now?
Alright, I'm back.
Just want to use this blade.
Please
I'm lucky.
leave.
I got a headshot.
I'm on
Be
fire.
the first time.
Pose is the one that I have basically muted.
Fuck, I just closed out all my video.
Yeah.
The first video I'm going to be showing you guys is
One shot. One kill.
an analyst of the effects of salt.
Do I need it downloaded?
Just use q.gg. I'll send a link. I'll post a link in 1 second.
PJ, man, that cooldown's bad.
It does a little bit. Inject some therapy. Hopefully it goes away.
Arriving at Shadow Gear.
One kill.
I might just hit my mic and push, just hit the push the tongue just to avoid all the.
One shot. One kill.
Alright, everybody direct your eyes to general. Link is posted. So this is a short video.
Fire.
It's only 12 minutes. But this is gonna kind of like set your mentality as a shot caller. I really appreciate Corey. This video was actually sent to me when I was toxic, right? And that's like the biggest thing I want you guys to take away from this team is how not to be toxic. I don't care about anything else. The reason being, the game becomes a lot more fun, and you just helps you in general in life. Good rules of thumb. But this video was sent to me by somebody who was my mentor in Overwatch, and he saw the path I was going down, and he sent me this video, and this is what started my change, right? This is what started me being more positive in my ranked games, me never asking people to switch, stuff like that. And as a shot caller, like, you need to be the rock in the middle of a game. Like, if you notice a comp's not working or something isn't working, or if people are like, comms are just really messy, people aren't gelling well together that day, you need that person to be that person to pull everybody together. And you need to have like that stable mindset to be able to recognize it yourself and quickly. And it's not an easy thing, but this video is really good. One of my. Everybody in here? Are we missing anybody? Cool.
Tab and Crazy.
I'm here.
Okay.
Wait, no, I'm here, but like this is still loading for some reason.
Alright, I'm back. What are we doing?
We're starting up the movie.
The
For some
movie.
reason,
There's a link in general.
Alright.
Hold on, this is being really laggy, so I'm like signing up on a different tab.
Okay.
I don't know. This is.
I can share it through my screen if you want.
Alright, that's fine.
Oh wait, I can't. But
Oh wait, no, it is okay. Is there a way I can friend you and then on the app, or not on the app, on the site, and then I can let it through there also.
I can share it, screen share it with you, bud.
Well, just no. Then you'd have to leave the voice chat.
That's true. But I could also just add everybody in the voice chat to it.
yeah,
Alright, that's fine.
that might be the best.
You could also go live.
Did Tab just leave?
Yeah, he's gonna invite everybody to a voice call.
So you can't go live on Discord then? Is that the problem?
Hello? Why are you guys starting like 12 calls? What the fuck?
Arriving at Shadow.
One shot. One kill. One shot. One kill. One shot. One kill. One shot. One kill. Easy. Double. One after another.
Skirt.
One
How do you turn it down on screen share?
One kill.
You want me to just turn it down, bud?
One shot.
Well, I don't want to hear the sound echoing.
Oh, okay.
I'll just mute you, I guess.
Try muting me and see if that works. Yeah.
One kill.
Everybody mute tab is not crazy. And then I'll
One
unmute.
shot.
Wait, what? I don't need him.
Yeah, you don't mute.
Okay.
Alright, I'm sorry. Oh, make sure you drop it.
In fighting games, win quotes have traditionally been one of the few moments you can learn about a character's backstory and personality. But in the first Street Fighter, you would actually see a lose quote each time you defeated your opponent. The first line is a compliment, but the very next sentence is pretty salty. Sometimes a lose quote can say more about someone than their win quote, and this is why there's a Twitter user known as ScrubQuotesX whose feed is full of salty lose quotes from people who lost in a fighting game. Losing sucks, and it's why game developers have made all sorts of ways to make it suck less. There are now checkpoints, continues, difficulty levels, hints, and of course, the white Tanuki suit.
This everyone's a winner stuff is a bunch of bullshit. If you suck, you should lose.
Generally, you can reduce the amount of losing by making a game easier to beat, but this doesn't work with head-to-head competitive games because both players are trying to win. No matter how easy or accessible you make the game, one of the two players is going to lose.
Paper covers rock. This is my room. No!
This means one-on-one games will necessarily result in half the player base experiencing a loss at any given time, and this generates a lot of salt and consequently a lot of complaints.
You lose, you feel bad, and you stop playing.
Yeah.
DBFZ is really easy to play, but if someone's better than you, you don't get to play. Casuals just don't want to get steamrolled in a fighting game.
What is it about these games that make people so salty to the point where salt is ingrained in fighting game culture, and how does it affect us?
You gotta be salty after that, because
He hadn't won the previous round.
The answer lies in the heart of scrub quotes. If you look at these comments, there's an underlying theme that's repeated over and over again: fairness. Sense of fair play has been demonstrated by primates in an experiment involving two capuchin monkeys in cages next to each other. After being completely fine eating cucumbers, the monkey on the left sees the other one getting the more delicious grape for doing the same task.
She gives a rock to us now, gets again cucumber.
The result is primal rage. This inspired similar experiments like the one with wolves pressing a buzzer to get food. According to the researcher, when the inequity was greatest, they stopped working. I think he was so frustrated he broke the apparatus. The wolf literally rage quit and broke his controller. These parallels to human behavior might seem kind of funny, but the experiments were designed to put the animals in an actual unfair situation. In fighting games, people get into situations that seem unfair, but it's usually because they're lacking certain knowledge or skill. For example, if you don't know how to block in Street Fighter, it's simply impossible to escape this. Because no amount of button mashing will change the situation, Salty Guy might be compelled to say, "My buttons don't work." If he learns his buttons work fine, he might accuse his opponent of playing dishonorably. "That move is broken." I like to call this the Scrub Lord's Prayer, which goes like this. My controls weren't working, and if they were, you were playing dishonorably, and if you weren't, you were playing without skill. And if you were, it's not fun to play that way, and if it is, then you only care about winning. We know all of this is nonsense because Guy just doesn't know how to block. Of course, it's easy to roll your eyes here because it's so patently obvious his Salt is talking, but people can also say these things at higher levels of play. Blocking a sweep might be obvious to most of you, but not as many will understand why Ryu is able to hit Sagat here when his foot doesn't even come close to him. Normally this attack will whiff crouching opponents because his kick is too high, makes sense. But if you block an attack standing and crouch right afterwards, there's a brief moment where this game treats you like a standing opponent even when you're visibly crouching. This is how Ryu is able to hit Sagat even when it looks like he's kicking the air. For players learning about this for the first time, it can understandably seem like an unfair exploitation of a glitchy game engine. You're just exploiting a bug. But for players who have seen this 100 times, it's just called fuzzy guard break, and it's an extra option that gives the game a pinch more depth without breaking. For a ton of damage and blocking a sweep might be obvious to most of you, but not as many will understand why Ryu is able to hit Sagat here when his foot doesn't even come close to him. Normally this attack will whiff crouching opponents because his MMA of fighting games adapt or get your eyes gouged out. These parallels to human—
Who's clicking? Stop clicking the video.
But maybe all this get good talk sounds elitist. Is it possible that your complaint can be legitimate and not just a result of salt? Seth Gillian had made the point that a win button for each player in a fighting game would actually be cheap. What's instructive about this thought experiment is that it reveals that the Scrub Lord's Prayer would mostly be correct in this case. Using the win button is dishonorable, takes no skill, isn't fun to play, and shows that the user truly only cares about winning. But notice that the game is still completely fair because both players have a win button, but also notice how this new win button is incredibly unfair for people who have learned how to play the game.
This win button really de-emphasizes footsies.
Get good, Scrub. How can something be so fair and unfair at the same time? It's because fairness can be interpreted in three very distinct, if not opposing ways. The first is called sameness, which is the idea that something should either apply to everyone or apply to no one. We like sameness when it's there to start competitors on the same footing. Every player must win the same number of rounds to win a game, be able to choose the same character, and have access to the same buttons, even if it is a win button. We don't like sameness if it starts to hurt our individuality too much, for example, being forced to choose the same character. Kurt Vonnegut wrote a dystopian satire called Harrison Bergeron that described a society where everyone was forced to be the same. Smart people had to wear noise radios to distract their thoughts, the strong had to wear weights, and the beautiful had to be masked. Kurt Vonnegut probably preferred buffs over nerfs. The second concept of fairness is called deservedness. It's the idea that if you succeed through hard work, skill, creativity, or cunning, you deserve all that you earn, a kind of individual freedom. If you lab the game so much that you find an unorthodox strategy, a weird glitch, a deceptive hitbox, or an infinite hit combo, you see it as a potential tool or a thing to watch out for rather than calling the authorities. This Wild West mentality came from a time when games were very rarely patched and making complaints involved writing and sending an actual letter with a stamp you had to buy. The third type of fairness is need, which is the idea that the ones that are worse off should be given some sort of aid, sometimes at the expense of the well-off. You might have heard this referred to as social justice. This includes things like comeback mechanics, balance patches, damage scaling, and the infinite prevention system in Skullgirls that makes sure you can't loop a combo forever. These regulations are needed to make sure the game doesn't break and remain competitively viable, but of course, that can be pretty subjective.
Is he dead? Oh my god, he is gone! It's getting...
The reason why Street Fighter 2's stun mechanic caused so much salt was because it violated the concept of need so badly. You're already doing bad because your opponent is constantly hitting you, but then the game says, because you did so bad, now you don't get to move or defend yourself. Now watch as you get your ass beat more. This sort of laissez-faire rich gets richer mechanic felt so unjust, local arcades made arcane rules where you were not allowed to hit anyone who was stunned, basically saying, sorry, but we don't play like that here. Made-up rules in arcades even happened in the old-school Korean Tekken scene, home of some of the best players in the world.
짠손 짠발이라든가 뭐 이런 기술들이 있어요. 그런 것들이랑 이제 쇼풍을 앉아서 기성화포로 때린다든가 이런 게 하면은 약간 노매너라 약간 이런 게 있었다고 하더라고요. 제가 할 때는 이제 좀 그런 것들이 점차 누그러지고 있을 때 근데도 하면 약간 눈치 보이는.
But making your own personal rules to an existing game like this is like appointing yourself as Grand Chancellor of the game's developers and its community, but only having a jurisdiction limited to the handful of people who don't want to waste time arguing with you. If you want real change, you have to let the developer know. Thanks to social media, everyone with a smartphone can complain about anything to anyone, and because games are so often patched these days, it can have a real influence. It's no wonder the designers of Tekken felt they had to do this.
Is there anything you want to tell the Tekken community that's tuning in? I guess this is all he wants to say.
But for game designers, complaining about existing games kind of becomes your job. The very same salt that came from the stun mechanic has been converted into one of the most iconic features in gaming history.
One of the things about Street Fighter that annoyed me and I loved was when you get the other guy dizzy. That was such a bad feeling, and it was such a good feeling when you're the guy who's attacking him. I want to have that good feeling, but I don't want to give the other guy the bad feeling. So we moved the dizzy to the end of the fight.
For game designers, salt can be a driver of innovation. One of the most salt-inducing moves back in the day was also one of the most basic, throws in Street Fighter 2. Once referred to as a dark art, throws had been a zero-sum winner-take-all move where the first person to press the button at close range would throw their opponent for a ton of damage and excellent positioning. Players that understood its instant activation and deceptive range would be able to toss around their opponents like ragdolls, and any OG from the arcade days can tell you about the fights that broke out because of it. So when Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo came around, they introduced throw teching, where if you managed to input throw within 13 frames after your opponent did it, you would not only take half the damage.
Alright, what? Why are you pausing, Tab?
Did I pause that?
But literally land on your feet.
I wasn't even on that screen.
Lowering your salt levels by throwing you a bone and rewarding you for being close. Fast forward to modern fighting games, and now throw teching actually cancels the throw with no one getting hurt at all. And depending on the game, one of the players might be rewarded with a slight positional advantage. The thing to note here is that even the saltiest guy swimming in the Dead Sea while eating Dutch licorice is not going to complain about losing a slight positional advantage. This feels fair because it doesn't terribly violate any of the three concepts of fairness, and it might be why throw breaks have survived for so long. No one got salty enough to complain about it. Your modern fighting game and games in general are a culmination of innovations from past games to assure that the needs of the ever-increasing player base are met. But long gone are the days of ruthless and punishing game designs with zero-sum gameplay that indiscriminately rewards one player and dumps all the salt onto the other. Who would want to go back to such a regressive time? Let me know in the comments the saltiest thing you've ever... Hey Corey, what's up? Nothing. I was just in the middle of recording and you kind of messed me up, but... I'm just kidding. It's fine. What's up? Oh yeah? What's it called? Okay. Really? So apparently, in the dark trenches of the FGC, there's a competitive scene out there that plays one of the cruelest and most sadistic fighting games ever made. It was never released outside of Japan, and rumor has it that people who played the game suffered from hypernatremia, making it literally toxic. Released in 1994, the game is called Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon S. Yo.
Oh, that was a dirty.
Alright.
What?
We're done. We're done watching the video. Stop clicking foreheads. But the point has been made, alright? So, I unmuted you, Tab, by the way.
Okay.
Can you guys tell me a little bit why I showed you that video? As cheesy as a question that is, like, make sure we understand.
the effects that it can have on you by being salty.
Not
So
just
I
that.
mean, you need to use this for every single thing that happens in the game.
Yep.
That's one.
That there will be people who will exploit things in the game no matter what, even if it hits you over and over again.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That if they're exploiting things, you can also play Brigitte.
exactly. Well, not Brig, but Doomfist, yes.
Oh, okay.
So if you can't beat them, join them. Basically, what you're saying.
That's the Jeff Kaplan fairness.
You can. The thing is, you can complain all you want. You can be salty all you want, but it goes back to me saying, like, the most common thing in all your losses is that you're playing in them.
Yep.
Right? And
Yep.
this is something you need to understand as a shot caller really well. Is you need to have an understanding of the game of what's good, what's bad. Right? Brig might work in comp, Brig will not work in 6v6. Lucio, Moira, Reaper, Doomfist.
In fighting games,
I
win quotes
swear
are
to fucking God. Stop clicking your screens. You guys got fucking ADD. Those things will. I was preaching about meta. So Lucio, Moira, Reaper, Doomfist, Orisa, Sigma is our current meta. You can sub out a Mei here and there, depending on maps, but that's your current meta, right?
Right.
That's as fair as it gets, right?
Right.
Both teams,
In theory.
both teams have equal access to everything. Both teams at the high level are equal in skill. Nobody's putting one advantage over the other. Yeah, there's some small advantages, but those are negatable. But as a shot caller, you need to recognize these things, right? Once we go into more diverse meta, it becomes...
Situational.
Yeah, situational, where you need to recognize what comp counters their comp. And as a shot caller in plat, that might happen more often than you see in the pro scene. Like, you could be running double shield and another team swaps to like ball monkey and starts countering you. And you need to be level-headed enough to not be like, well, this is stupid, they're not running meta, let's keep running meta. No, just swap to an anti-dive comp and wreck their shit.
Yep.
So I'm gonna talk a little bit, and then I got a couple more videos.
I think Guillotine's trying to
but
get in, by the way.
What's up?
Who?
Guillotine?
Oh, bring him in.
There's another person on the gold team trying to get into.
Bring them in.
Alright. Yeah, you guys can add them, right?
Yeah, working on it.
Do you want
Tracy,
to,
can you figure out...
Where the
I need
fuck
you to
is
get on
Kelly?
this website.
Basic.
I do? Okay.
Yeah.
I could just screen share for everybody and you could,
No, because
oh,
it
no.
lags. I was
Yeah.
watching it. It was lagging pretty bad.
Okay.
I
You
can
just
Damn,
need
I'm paying all
to
this money for Nitro. What the fuck?
I can set it back to go to live on Discord if you want on the server. I just took it off because like your Horus was spamming that last time. That's one.
Yeah, no. You can't record desktop. We're staying in this call, get everybody in here, but for the future, Crazy, I need you to be on this
Okay.
website. I use it quite often.
Okay. For some reason, it just keeps loading.
Did somebody say Gilly wants in?
Yes.
I think Avacar wants in too.
Give me one sec. Gilly's on his phone, so I don't know how that's gonna work for him.
I know I can stream live to servers with Nitro, but I don't really remember how to do it, to be honest with you.
Come on, Gilly.
We just...
Get
You
everybody
can
in
join this
call.
call. You
Yeah.
can join.
Okay.
If you just joined, I will send you the link to what we're using. There might be a new link going out shortly. But we just watched an intro video about the effects of salt and kind of talking about the shot caller mindset. Is Avacar?
The fuck is this shit?
Easy, easy.
No, I'm triggered already. Don't just leave me alone.
Oh, good. We're gonna learn about that.
I think you need to watch the
Not
first
wrong.
video, bud.
Yeah, Avocard needs to watch the first video.
Grab a salt shaker and sit down and watch the first video.
My fucking internet's a retard.
Okay, Gilly's a boosted lost cause. Let's move on.
Okay. He ain't boosted. He had one VOD review and started climbing, dog.
I'm so mad.
Who's boosted?
All right. So I'm talking about we watched a video that really explains the idea of fairness, salt in video games. For the people that missed it, I'll send it to you after this lesson. It's a really good video done by one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. He also has a couple other videos about button mashing, buffs versus nerfs, like really good quality content. But that effects of salt video is what changed me from a toxic player to less toxic and began that transition into wanting to coach people and realizing my strengths in Overwatch. So, and it also illustrates the shot caller's mindset, right? Like, you have a responsibility as a shot caller. You might not be a team captain as a shot caller, but you need to have the head and the level-headedness to be able to call your team out if, like, comms start getting messy, people start getting toxic, getting frustrated. You need to be able to rally your team back together and win the match. Right? That's one of your responsibilities. The other responsibilities are more in-game responsibilities, but the biggest one is being able to recognize your team's emotions and which way they're going. Sometimes your team's emotions can be too happy, and you're going to be playing way too aggressive than you need to be. You need to be able to call a retreat or a soft reset. And I'll be going over some of this terminology for people, because the more I play ranked, I notice that people don't know what a soft reset is anymore. So that is your core responsibility as a shot caller. Is a shot caller plays low mechanically skilled heroes because of how much thinking and ult tracking and brain power they have to use. It's too much usually to play any other role besides like Lucio, Mercy. Sometimes the off tanks do it, or a main tank will do it, and the off tank will target call. But it's usually easiest if your main support, so your main support plays Lucio, Mercy, does it. So your role on the team is one, keeping emotions in check, but also you control the pace at which you play the game in a match. You control team comps that you're running outside the map on first engagement. You're in charge of keeping the ult economy in check, ult usage, the strats you'll be using during the first fight and mid fight, and also communication to your team. That's kind of your role, right? Now, I'm gonna go into ult economy, which I didn't go into on our first lesson too deeply, but ult economy is huge in 6v6 Overwatch. Ult economy, if let's say we have all 6 ults, right? We go in, we blow all 6 ults, and they have 2. We're at a huge disadvantage, right? So being able to recognize the different values in each ult, like how much a Zarya grab is worth compared to Zen's Transcendence, and what ults you have to combo with that Zarya grab. Like, understanding ultimates in general is a huge part of shot calling, and I can't teach that all in one. That's like a lesson on its own. And then also the value in trading out ults. So that is the process of, let's say we have on our team, if you could click the link if you haven't already. I'm just going to use this to write on. Let's say we have Rhino, right? We have Shatter. we have Zarya Grav, and we have Hanzo ult. They have Trance for Zen. Alright, there's a couple ways, right? This is pretty easy. Now, Hanzo ult is like a straight line. And it could be used to zone out teams through a choke. Like if we have like, here's a choke, you can fire Hanzo ult like this and hopefully split the team, and then you guys attack, right? That's its value on its own. It does decent damage. It can get kills. You can snipe people with it. Zarya Grav pulls people into the center, right? And groups them up.
Hey, Bay, not to interrupt you, but I think Guillotine's back if we can get him in.
Invite him back.
He said he has to go eat dinner.
Oh, okay, he's just now leaving. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Zarya Grav pulls him in to the center, and then typically what you would do is you would send Hanzo ult in, kill like 3 of them if they don't have trance, right? That's a basic combo. The most common combo you see with Zarya and Hanzo in a team comp. Well, what you can do if an enemy has trance, right, is... Oh, and then let me go over Reinhardt. Reinhardt, you have Shatter, which is like in a cone. That's a terrible cone. And it knocks them down. Ah, fuck! Whatever.
Oh, I need a screen share for you, bud. I'm sorry.
So we have Reinhardt, we have Zarya, we have Hanzo, Ultimates, and they have Trance, right? In this situation, if you all don't blow your fucking ults, right? This is us. You are at the advantage. If you as a shot caller can recognize that you can use Zarya Grav to bait out Trance and use Reinhardt Shatter to combo with Hanzo ult, right? Understanding the ult economy and what ults combo well with each other will mean the difference between winning and losing games. And this is trading out an ult. So I recognize that as a shot caller, most Zenyatas will pop Trance for a Zarya Grav, whether or not they see a Hanzo coming in, or a Hanzo Dragon. So in this situation, I would tell Zarya, hey, let's use Grav to bait out Trance. If they don't pop Trance, you can still send Hanzo ult in, or you can just have your Reinhardt swing into the Grav and kill everybody. They will definitely pop Trance. So you're at the ult advantage here. But let's say, right, we use all 3 of those ults, and now we have like Nano, and we have Blade. They have Rein, Hanzo, Zarya. Now we're on the weak side of the ultimate economy, because all we have is Nano Blade. How do we trade out Nano Blade for Reinhardt, Zarya, Hanzo? You don't. If you're a defending team, you're pretty fucked here. You better hope. You deflect the Grav, yeah. You need a high skill play to counter this. Or what you can do is on the Zarya Grav. Now this is a high risk play, and you need to be able to assess whether this is worth it in this situation, how much time is left in the map, what other ultimates are coming online that you can combo after this. Like, you always need to be thinking about these things, right? So what you could do, let's say we're on second point of 2 CP, and there's 3 minutes left in the match, right? You can blow an early Nano Blade and stall their push. So Nano or Genji goes up, gets Nano, goes in, goes for the pick on the Hanzo. Because we have called out that Hanzo has Dragon and Zarya has Grab, so we know they're going to probably combo these. So if you get the pick on the Hanzo, you're in a better position, and if you can pick like their Ana or Moira or whatever, you're in a better position because they're going to be down 1 or 2. That's why it's important for everybody on the team to understand that getting 1 or 2 people with an ultimate is just as valuable as getting 6. It just depends who you get. A lot of shot calling is very situational, and it comes with a lot of practice. Blue recently, I have the VOD. I might show you guys the VOD of me like pressuring Blue while he was shot calling. I will show you guys that. It's really good. But the questions I was asking him over and over again is the things you need to be constantly thinking about to properly shot call. Pull up the VOD. I was really mean to him. I had to apologize after. Let me find it real quick. Any questions so far?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna ask the question. I'll ask you later.
Yeah, you can ask me now. Now's the perfect time.
As far as like the alt economy and all that, there's obviously you have to take more than just, oh, we have this. You know, you have to take into consideration we're close to this as well. You know, maybe farming up instead of maybe use like a naked blade there instead of Nano, and Nano somebody else that's really close to farming an ult that could, you know, win the team fight.
Yeah, that's all like super situational stuff that you should always be thinking about. But there is times where you're overthinking about that type of stuff, and right now I just want you to be able to trade out ults properly.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to ask it.
Yeah, but it's a good thing you asked it, because then I can just tell you that. Don't think about that right now. I can't find the video. Whatever. I felt bad. So this goes into why ult tracking is really important for you as a shot caller, and relying on your teammates to also track. Like, you need to recognize that shot calling is a two-way street. Whether you're doing the shot calling or you're receiving shot calling, you need to understand, how can I contribute to their best success? And this goes into ranked as well. How can I contribute my value to this current team? Whether it's in ranked or you're in a tournament. What's my position? What's my role here? All those questions should be answered before you start the game. And whether you need your shot caller, you need to ask your shot caller, hey, what is my purpose here? What are we trying to do? Those questions will not be looked down upon. Those are good questions. They're not stupid. It's sometimes just not apparent. So like going into like the different types of strats that you can use, there's a few, right? We have the dry push. There's 2 different types of dry pushes. You have the force ult push. I'm gonna call it FU. And then you have the build ult push, which is BU. It's in the name, but I'm gonna ask, what is force ult push? What do you think it is?
Forcing trance.
Yeah, it's not just trance, but it could be pretty much
whatever you want to force. Zarya grab.
So
whatever you need to get out.
Let's say we have 0 ults and they have Zarya, Reinhardt, Moira, and we have no ults. In a force ult push, or a dry push to force out ults, you are trying to force out at least 2 of these. So you need to recognize that on a force ult push, you need to play so aggressive. You need them to think that they have fucked up on their ult tracking and you're playing like you have all 6 ultimates and you're bluffing them. And you need to intimidate them so badly, and this is why coaching Plat's so fun, because people make mistakes and people aren't perfect. You could probably force out all 3 of these if you play aggressive enough. And you as a shot caller need to communicate that. So what it would look like on 2CP attack, let's say we're attacking the point on Volskaya and we're like about to turn the corner into the point, you need to call it like here as you're walking out from spawn, being like, hey, let's do a dry push here. We need to force out ultimates. I don't care if you die. We just need to W key into them and play hyper aggressive. That's a forced push ult. Force ult push. The dry is in dry push because you don't use any of your ults. So even if we had like 1 or 2 ults, we still wouldn't use these because we're dry pushing. So you need to have the mental control to not press Q or whatever your ultimate button is. The next is build ult push. It's similar to the force out ult push, but in build ult push, you're basically just poking and not playing as aggressive. You're poking at the enemy team either from ranged or you're going in for quick brawls and then going out, going back in, going out, going back in. You're basically just trying to build up your ultimate economy. But you need to recognize that how ults are built is through damage. So in these quick pushes that you're doing, you need to make sure that you're doing more damage than enemy team or it's worthless. Because if they're out damaging you or people are dying in a dry push that's building ults, you are basically just feeding and it's not helping you in any way. So typically, I've only called this a few times for building ults. I called it in my comp game last night and taught a group of people how to dry push. It was interesting. But in a build ult push, you need to make sure that you're doing more damage than the enemy team and you're building ults faster. You're not really playing for picks. Your flankers aren't going on deep flanks. They're just trying to build up like Reaper ult, or we're just trying to build May ult. Or we're just trying to force cooldowns. Stuff like that. Other examples, that's pretty much it. You rarely use this one unless you're super confident in your team and your team has good enough.
So this is one you're using a lot of your safer cooldowns like Fire Strike and Dynamite just to build ult without taking damage.
Yeah, usually I'll call a build ult push if my like Reinhardt's at 60%, right?
Yeah.
He's within one team fight. Like if we were to go into a team fight with a Reinhardt at 60%, he will more than likely have ultimate mid fight. But if I want to begin an engagement with Shatter, I would say, all right, let's build ults here. On this push, we're just gonna poke for Reinhardt Shatter.
Yeah.
And
I do that a lot on like King's Row if we don't have like damage to actually kill any of their comp. Like if we're a low damage comp, I'll just try to build Fire Strike and just, you know, throw Fire Strikes around the choke, not really pushing.
yeah, it's a little different than that because like in my mind,
it's like getting the win condition online is what it's like in my mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into win condition in a minute after I go over these strategies. How do I want to explain this? So like, it's a little different than that because if my Reinhardt, let's say this is my only ultimate coming online, I'm probably ult tracking the enemy team and know they don't have like Lucio beat or they don't have, they're probably at like 50%, right? So I don't want to do too much damage to where this Lucio builds ultimate before my Shatter. Because he would get this in like 1.5 team fights. Or at the end of a really hard engagement, Lucio would have B at the end, and then this nullifies the Shatter. So I'm trying to build Shatter quickly. Basically, Reinhardt's going to be the focus of this build ult push. And his sole goal is to have Shatter before they have beat. But he doesn't know that. Like, I'm not communicating that you
You're
need
not
to have
saying like
Shatter.
we need to dump resources into getting our whatever. Like, if we're close to Grav or we're close to Shatter, like you wouldn't call we need to dump resources into Rhine or Zarya to get the win condition online and kind of do that.
No, because that's just too much comms. Everybody should know their job. Like, their job, do damage, get ultimates online. That's your sole #1 job, right? Get your ultimate online. Everybody should know that. So if I call a dry push, people should know that I'm trying to build somebody's ultimate. It doesn't matter who it is, but if I can get 2 ultimates online, I'm not complaining. But in my head, I'm already planning to use Reinhardt Shatter because they don't have beat, right? All right, later.
Do we have a scrim tonight?
No scrim.
Okay. So this is all we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is totally optional for shot callers.
Oh. Well, I guess I'm here anyway.
Yeah, I have to get going to make dinner. But thank you.
No problem. No problem.
I'll try to join the next one.
Yeah. It's all good. So
You can
that's
go
your
back
build ult.
if you want.
What's up, Peachy?
We can go back to Discord if you guys want. Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crazy's gone.
Cool. Let's go back.
Okay.
Pretty typical you see in comp. We have Shatter online, or we have Grav Dragon online. We're gonna use Grav Dragon. That's your ult push, is what I call it. Another play you can call for is play for picks, or play for poke. Play for picks is if you have like a Widow in your comp, and you don't want to engage unless our Widow. So it basically states playing for picks is stating when the fight's going to go full 100%, 110%. We're pressing W into the enemy team, right? So it's a timing thing. So you sit around and you just poke around, right? We're just messing around. We're poking at the enemy team. They're poking at us. Widow's back here, and she snipes Ana in the back. Now we press W and we go. That's play for picks. We have a significant advantage. Widow found the angle that she needed to find. We're pressing W, we go. That's play for.
So my question is specifically because they got the Ana, because that's the main healers, or like just in general, you want to pick in general?
Just in general. It could be like, back in the day it was Widow v Widow, is when you would play for picks pretty often. And like we're fighting down here, and the Widows are dueling it out. And let's say this Widow on blue team gets the pick on the enemy Widow, we W key go. They're down. The reason why is they're down their crucial piece in the Widow v Widow battle, because it's all about map control with the Widow duels. So since we've taken out their Widow, our Widow can just freely hard scope and doesn't have to worry about any WASDing. They can just focus on picks.
Got you. My question is, what if our Widow got picked off? Do we back off then, or what?
That goes into whether we have ultimates online or not. So it's a hard question to answer, but typically, or if we're on attack or defending, if you're on attack and your Widow gets picked, you back off because you can. If you're on defense and your Widow gets picked, you gotta fucking meet them full force. Because there's no backing up, right?
Gotcha.
On a payload map. On 2CP, you can kinda... on hybrid.
2CP sucks, we get it.
Yeah, 2CP's great, dog, for 6v6 is fucking amazing.
It's disgusting in ranked.
It's disgusting in rank because nobody knows how to play the game. But let's say we're on hybrid, right? We're on King's Row. Here's the point. Here's the tunnel area, and we're on defense here. And our Widow gets picked up right here at the start of the match. Their Widow like grappled, shot our Widow, and they're pressing W keys straight to the point. Here's hotel. Just mark it with an H. And we were playing back here for some reason. What we can do is, since it's the start and we have a couple ticks, we can regroup. Our Widow can swap off to like a Doomfist, come back. Now we have a brawl comp and we go back in for a clean engagement. That's something you could do. It's really dependent on situation, which ultimates you have online. If it's the beginning of the game or if it's the end of the game. If it's overtime or if it's not overtime. Like, there's a lot of... The only way to get good at shot calling is experiencing all those moments and knowing how to call them correctly the next time. I played easily over 500 hours of just scrim time. Because I was scrimming twice a week, 5 days. I'm trying to say.
You don't need to do the calculus, bud. We know you
Dude,
do it a
I'm
lot
sorry.
sometimes.
My brain gets like that sometimes.
Fine.
So the only way to learn how to properly shot call is I can give you some tools, but you need to experience everything and recognize what you were doing wrong, what calls could have been better, what calls could have been were bad, which calls you'll never call again, stuff like that. But it's
So you're
basically,
saying it's like you're gonna give us the tools, but we still have to build the game sense for it, right?
yeah, you can't teach shot calling. I can teach you the tools for it, but you can't actually teach the mentality that you need to have. That's something that's built over many, 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 many scrims. I can teach you like broad scenarios, but once you start asking me like questions like, what if our Widow gets picked first? Well, that's dependent on these conditions. And I could probably talk about an hour depending on which map type, which maps the Widow gets picked at, right? I could talk for like an hour about that. Then another call you can make is a brawl call. So that's typically in a brawl comp. You're not playing for picks. You don't really make this call, but it's a type of play style that you need to recognize. Is in a brawl comp, it's a clusterfuck where it's usually done in goats, and it's very heavily dependent on target calling. That is the brawl strat. So in goats, like we have Ryan, Zarya, Zen, Lucio, Brig, and Diva back in the day. That is really, your shot caller is only focused on which ultimates we're going to use in exchange, and the shot caller knows that this is heavily on the target caller's shoulders. It's not really anything I control. Like, I just hope our shot caller can get all 6 of us on the same target, right? That goes into our next video, which is done by not Stylosa. Fucking hate Stylosa.
That guy's way too lenient.
It's from Spylo, one of my favorite people.
So my question was the shot caller. What position did you play? Their support, right? Or is it like anyone just in general?
You said main support, right?
It's typically your main support. I did it as Ana. I couldn't play Lucio, so I played Ana Mercy. So it's typically your supports.
Yeah, but what if the support doesn't want to shot call? Like, so what exactly would you be? What exact position would you want to be on there? Like, on what tank or DPS would you want to be to shot call? Like, to get the advantage on like that? Exactly.
It depends on the person's personality and how good they are at the game. Typically, when I look for shot callers, I look for their personality. Are they level-headed? Are they dedicated? Are they able to fulfill their role, whatever it is, and still be able to shot call? Like, are they gonna play at 100% even with this responsibility on their shoulders? Me personally, if I was a handed shot caller, I would be a way better player. Like, that's how taxing it was on my brain. I could only maybe play like 3 maps in a scrim. When I first started shot calling, I could only play 1 map. And I'd be like, I'm done. Like, I can't play anymore. I'm so tired.
Too much
like,
pressure.
The amount of pressure.
You just have to constantly think.
You're constantly thinking. That's why I go on these like weird ass like calculus tangents. Because I'm like constantly thinking. And when you ask me those questions, like, if you ask me like, well, what if my tracer gets flashbang and killed by McCree on Eichenwald? I literally, my brain goes, are you guys on attack? Are you on a defense? What comp are you running? Why do you have a tracer? Like, that's literally how my brain functions because
what was
I've
the
done
purpose? What were you guys trying to do? Yeah, so you always like, like 10 steps to 20 steps ahead, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's literally like chess. It gets intense, dude. And now that's bad shot calling. Like, how my brain works is bad shot calling. It's great for coaching. It's bad for shot calling because then I get too deep in thought and I can't make the call in time, right? Because I'm trying to play out all the scenarios in my head of what would be the best call, which is hesitating. And that's what you need to recognize, is you're not always going to call the best call. And this took me a while to learn, but once I learned it, just go with your gut instinct. It's like taking a test and you don't know the answer. You just pick the one that sounds the most right. And then afterwards, usually it works out a lot better. But you need to do everything with 100% confidence and like just pick something. It's better to pick something than stand there and freak out. Everybody see this video?
Spilo.
Yeah.
Roger.
Some white guy in a chair. Yep.
This is Spilo. He's a Contenders coach. Some white guy in a chair, please. He's gonna explain poke versus objective play here. It's really.
Your team has, you need to go, the longer the fight goes in terms of like being indecisive, right? Like just kind of tickling each other, doing damage. What team is going to be better? And that should change how you play. If the enemy team is running a Rissa and a McCree and a Zenyatta and an Ana and a Hanzo, that's a lot of damage, right? That's a lot of healing, right? It's going to be, if you sit there and there's a hard shield, right? And if you sit there and you just poke against that composition, unless you've got like a Bastion or Rissa Diva, then you're not going to win that, right? It's not going to happen. So you need to find a way to A, force point pressure, and force them to rotate, come onto you, and that's when you kill them, right? Or B, if you're running like a dive comp, like a Tracer or Genji, you need to force the play. And the play is, you can describe the play, there's different ways of how the play is executed, but the play is always something very quick and decisive that isn't slow, okay? Whereas if you look at a composition like, okay, they have they're running goats maybe, or they're running Reinhardt, Zarya, they're running like a Reaper and a Moira and a Lucio. Sound familiar, right? And like a diva, right? So that's a lot of tankiness, and you don't want them to get on top of you, right? And so you can either kite, but the easiest answer is if you're playing like a Widowmaker Hanzo, is to get sight lines early and often, and start putting damage out as soon as you can, because you don't want that composition to either apply point pressure without taking any damage, or you don't want that composition to be able to quickly get on top of you, like executing a quick burst play. You need to put out damage early, and you need to put out damage often. You need to poke as much as you possibly can, right? As much as you possibly can. So once they do get to the point, or once they do get onto your tanks, that they're all half HP. You know, Zarya doesn't have any more bubbles, or Moira had to use her healing orb, or Lucio had to use amp. Like, you trade off those cooldowns. So yes, they're still better, but they're at a significant disadvantage, right? So whenever...
So what he's explaining here is, as a shot caller, you need to recognize, I say this I think every time I talk to somebody, the value that your team brings compared to the value they bring. And recognizing advantage versus disadvantage. Right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep. Any questions about his early sight lines, why he said that?
I mean, if they can't interact with you, you want to put as much pressure on them as possible so they can't do whatever they want for free.
Even if you're at a disadvantage, somebody asked me earlier, some tryout I was interviewing, he asked me, do you believe every game is winnable? And I'm like, yes. In comp, yes. Because even if I have a thrower on my team, I can bring the enemy team down to the same disadvantage, right? And how do I do that? I need to get a pick. Or I need to support somebody to get a pick. Or I need to position well enough to get a pick. Right? That's how...
Or just counter the carry so hard that their team starts flaming the other kid for not, like, swapping off or something.
Yeah, like, or I support my thrower as hard as they can to just bring them up to an average level. Like, that means pocketing my thrower. Or I build my comp around the thrower. Like, every match is always winning.
So whenever you play comp, whenever you scrim, look at your composition. Which composition does better with the raw damage output and those mid ranges, and which composition doesn't have that level of sustain, right? Doesn't have that amount of shields, doesn't have that amount of damage. And then if you are the composition with a higher damage, higher poke, set up poke lanes. Do it quickly, do it early, do it as much as you possibly can. Just like the Zenyatta comp we saw in the Winston Goats. And if you're the composition with the Reaper and the Moira, and you're like, we don't want to take those long fights, then you need to find a place, whether it's applying objective pressure, or whether it's finding a way to path, right, with cover, and get on top of them as fast as you can. You need to play to your strengths, whether it's poke or whether it's point. Very important concept, and that's about it. All right, so thanks you guys so much for watching this. This has been episode 2 of our...
Yeah, so... really good. I love Spilo. He explains things like this all the time. It's hard to find YouTubers that will actually like explain the strategies of Overwatch. He's one of them, and if you need videos, like you want to learn a specific thing about the overall strategies of Overwatch, let me know. I have those VODs. Alright, so now we're gonna go over first fight. So the first fight is basically when, let's take control for example. We both start on opposite ends of the map and then the teams come and meet. That's first fight, first engagement. And what are your responsibilities in the first fight? You call the comp and spawn. What comp are we running? You call the direction we're going to go out of spawn. And motivate your team. Pretty simple. And you rely on scouting and other things and change the plan as you need to. as you're walking up. Fuck. First fight's pretty easy. Then we get into mid-fight. Mid-fight, you're pretty hands-off as a shot caller. First fight, nobody starts with ultimate, so you don't need to call ultimate usage. Mid-fight, and this is going over the whole entire game of mid-fight. You don't really need to call much, except like whatever ultimates you're tracking that you know come online. But mainly mid fights on your target caller. That's why your shot caller and your target caller aren't usually the same person. Because your shot caller is thinking about, okay, if we win this fight here while I'm doing my job all correctly, what ultimates am I going to use? What ultimates do they have? And then during the end fight, or the pre-fight is what I'll call it, which is after your mid-fight, you are discussing, that's that 30 to 45 second time where you're discussing with your team about what ultimates are we going to use, what ultimates do they have, who is our win condition, and stuff like that. So those are the kind of 3 stages of shot calling.
Yeah.
So quickly, I'm going to go over win condition. This one's really difficult, and people usually ask me a lot of specific questions. And just know that win condition is super situational. And I'll do my best to not like big brain it. I have a big issue of doing it, so just keep me in check. Tab, you do a really good job of it. So I'm gonna pull up our scrim.
Oh shit.
And I'm gonna ask you guys what our win conditions are.
You're gonna ask win conditions in between fights?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you like a fight and ask you all what the win condition was and who you have to kill, and then we'll watch and see what you guys do. I know Tab, you weren't there, and Spen, you weren't there.
Ooh, this is exciting for me.
Probably not for me.
Jimmy Dippy. Who the fuck is that? Oh, you scrimmed a different team.
Yeah.
Oh, Asian was in too.
Oh shit, this is the one where I played off tank.
Don't tell me we lost this Asian.
Okay, this is after point. We'll watch a little bit and I'll pause it and ask you guys. I just want you guys to listen to the comms. So Koji was my old teammate that had come out. He's GM. Well, High Masters. But I didn't tell you guys that because I just want to see how you guys reacted to his calls.
Oh no, I can tell he was high rated. I can tell he was high rated the first time.
Yeah. He has just as much, probably more scrim experience than me now. But he called top right, top right. Alright, we're pushing top right. That's a shot caller call, right? Direction out of spawn.
Wouldn't that be top left?
Top left, yeah. That's the shot caller. We have the bait wall here. Why does he want a bait wall here?
So he doesn't get split.
With me, I'm gonna push in.
You're with you.
You're on your right wall. Yeah.
Called bait wall, went in.
That's
Well, no, it's not even that. He called bait wall, then he called to push in together, and nobody followed him.
You can't push in together with a
Yeah,
wall
putting
like
up here.
that. Not on that little
I'm
tight
behind.
choke.
And they don't have speed either, so they can't make it through.
They have bait, be careful, careful, careful.
Yeah, we have to bait wall here. When you're with me, I'm gonna push in.
I think he just went a little too far.
When you're with me, I'm gonna push in. He
Yep.
saw Zarya was here. He saw Doomfist was here.
And he pushed,
Zarya
and they
Ryan-
didn't push.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still really, really tight window that you have to scoot everybody in.
I agree, but they definitely did not push with him.
I was a little bit too far back. And I got
Okay,
split from
here's
the
the thing with Maywall. If all 6 of you are on the same page, you all should be on the other side of that wall. I've done it plenty of times.
So should he have like 3-2-1 it or?
Well, he said when you're with me, we're gonna go in. Like
Okay.
that should be the shortest. Like,
Yeah.
he's used to playing on a team where that's all he has to say.
Gotcha.
That's the level he's at, and he's not used to playing at this level.
Gotcha.
Where Doomfist is doing his own thing over here. So, like, we talked about it. I heard somebody say it. Like, we don't have Lucio to speed us past the wall. Why don't we have a Lucio here? What value does Ana Moira bring?
A lot of healing, but no speed into their comp. They have Ryan Zarya. You need to speed into them. You want to go aggressive into them now.
Yeah.
It's more sustain than it is anything else.
It's more sustain. Is it gonna stop an ultimate? No.
No.
Are you gonna be able to survive May? No. Are you gonna be able to survive their coalescence?
How much
Maybe.
healing is Ana? Do you know? Because I don't think it'd really be more sustain if you're getting the healing song on 5 people or 6 people.
It's
75
30. Yeah.
25 to hit scan shot, I think 74 damage.
So
I'll
and you can
check.
shoot what, like every half second or second?
It's half.
It's shorter than a half second.
So like if Lucio has healing song on everybody, it's not really more sustain. It's just more burst.
It's 70 damage, 75 healing.
Because I know his amp song is like 50 per second.
I think you guys are thinking about the numbers too much.
Yeah.
That's the wrong way to think of value. Don't think too much about that. Just say, okay, she's a burst healer. She's a burst healer. We have a lot of burst healing. We don't have a lot of sustain. Where is a burst healer?
I guess what I should have said is that this is more of an aggressive healing playstyle than it is anything else.
This is not a healing combo normally. But it is an aggressive healing combo. You are correct, but never run this. Run this. What value does their Lucio play in their team comp?
Rotation.
Yeah, rotation.
Speed them out.
Speed them out, speed them in, move around the Orisa.
Bait cooldowns, get them in and out.
Yep, pretty much. Kite them around.
Hello, what's going on?
What's up, Maxim?
Just fine.
There's a
Yeah.
Look in general chat and you'll see basics link, and you can watch it with us.
Basics.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does it redirect them to this video, or is it going to redirect them to the other one, by the way?
You should redirect them to this one.
Yeah, it's the same link. Or no.
Core gaming.
I don't think so. I think he's getting the video about the fight game.
Oh shit! Yeah. Never mind.
Hang on, I'll send you a new link.
We're talking about, I guess, identifying win conditions and a little bit of compositional understanding.
And we're going over the flat screen bots.
So we're at a huge disadvantage already. This is the first fight, so nobody has ultimates online, and this is where we're going to talk about ult economy.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to press play here.
I'm behind. Need healing up here?
So this is a lack of shot calling. Your team's poking. You've lost point already. I would call it a soft reset. I lost my Reinhardt on that May wall. I'm just feeding at this point. Alright, we're going to go into ult economy. All right, they're at 41, 37, 23. We're at 27, 33, 41. We're pretty even, right? But watch as they clean up here, the old difference.
Are we backing out here?
Yeah, let's try to focus. Let's try to focus their Moira. Moira down. Next target. Let's try to focus May or the McCree. They're kind of up.
You're gonna be wall here. You're gonna have wall here.
May's up. May's up. May's up. She's gonna try to wall off though. They're kind of up.
You're gonna be wall here. You're gonna have wall here.
May's up. May's up. May's up.
Let's look at the old difference. So
Almost
we
got
got
a full high noon.
almost got a full high noon. Our next highest is gonna be either nano or high noon. Yeah, and so ult economy wise, we're doing a pretty bad job. They almost have Sig ult. Our Zarya is only at 11%. Probably has no charge. Use bubble to get out. We haven't fully reset yet, so we're already going into this fight at a huge disadvantage. Look at our health. Look at their health. They might be down one, but McCree's a one shot, Ana's a one shot, Zarya's 2 shots, and by shots I mean like 100 health. So if you ever get confused by that, and they're all full health. So they still can win this even without their Moira if they just speed on, easy clap, roll you, and then the ult difference is gonna be huge. Their Moira is at 55%, our Moira is at 47.
Basics. There's something you gotta remember that each hero charges ults differently.
No, they all charge them the same. There's 3 different ways you can charge your ultimate. There's passive, then there's healing, and there's damage. All of them charge it the same 3 ways.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the rate of
That doesn't
The speed
matter.
of charge? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, like the
That
how
doesn't
fast you
matter.
get your charge.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Reason why that doesn't matter, or why I don't really care about it, right, is because if you're doing, it doesn't matter how fast you charge your ultimate, as long as you're doing damage, this is what's gonna happen, right? The enemy team's gonna be at half health, and we're gonna steamroll them, right? If they just go in right now, they will kill Ana, they will kill McCree. They cannot build ult. They get only passive generation. While they're still building theirs. That the rate at which they charge it doesn't really matter. As long as you're outputting damage, you can charge it. If that makes sense. Like, it's hard to explain, but it doesn't.
She's gonna try to wall off though. Play safe. I should have all come in before we go in so we don't get walled off.
I'm gonna try and bait the wall.
So we're
Oh,
still
fuck, 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 fuck,
poking.
fuck. Thank you. I'm gonna try and bait wall here.
I'm gonna go flank to bring their attention.
That's perfect, actually.
Oh fuck.
May's up. May's up. May's up. She's gonna try to wall off though. Play safe.
Watch the Reinhardt's health. And I forgot who hits him. I think it's the Orisa.
I should have all come in before we go in so we don't get walled off.
I'm gonna try and bait the wall.
Sigma. Sigma hits him. Cool. So Sigma's at 36%. Right here before the rock is thrown at this Reinhardt.
I should have all come in before we go in so we don't get walled off.
I'm gonna try and bait the wall.
Throws rock. 48%. Our Zarya has only gained 2%. Not doing damage. Not doing anything of value. Just standing here. Not even right clicking the shield. Our Reinhardt is about to drop even more in health.
Oh fuck, 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 fuck. Thank you.
We have to scramble, pop cooldowns, we pop Moira Ball. We might have popped Nade. We have Nano coming online because our Reinhardt just took a shit ton of damage, which is cool. But Flex is pretty powerful, so
I'm gonna try and bait wall here.
I'm gonna go flank to bring
that's
their
why
attention.
passive, or the rate at which you charge it doesn't really matter.
I just got actually walled.
If you just do damage.
Alright, this ain't happening with the Reinhardt, boys. What's the call?
Koji knew from the start the Reinhardt was a bad call, but I forced him to start on Reinhardt. as a shot caller, he's asking this question because he knows the right answer, but he wants to see if any of you know the answer, right? What's the call?
I have
I think
always
we
gone
gotta
dive.
go as a team, like as a full team.
As far as swapping,
Yeah, he asked for a swap. Your Reinhardt's asking you for a swap right now. You have
I
Shatter
would
almost
absolutely
online.
swap.
You have Nano. You have Moira. They have high noon. What's your win condition?
I mean, shutting down the high noon would be the win condition, but I mean, most people just use it as a zoning alt. I would say honestly, killing their main tank because she's getting close to bongos, and then you can play slow and move in.
Anybody else? I'll
Yeah.
use a different color.
You have to kill both their DPS. Their main, because of the wall. Once the wall goes down, you have a little bit more free reign. They could kite back to point, and then you have to also kill the Kree because of his high noon and his ability to zone and.
It's a pretty shitty fight. Like, you might be able to get a coalescence if you don't want to swap and kill some of their squishies too. Like, that's another way to go about it, but
Yeah, but
I would probably go, what is it, the little kitchen, like up here, try to bait Maywall, and then I'd go down and just speed up on him. But we don't have a Lucio, so
Ben,
that's
do you
pretty
want to
shitty too.
take a shot at it? Condition here.
I guess from my point of view is like, where are we at? Hold on. Trying to get to the McCree is going to be tough because he's going to be playing back. So while that would be ideal, I'm not sure that that's possible because he'll be behind two shields. So I think the first thing you do is you bait out the Maywall, and then you push with Coalescence. As the fight develops, McCree is probably going to shift to an advantageous point of view to get that high noon off. So just stay tight and stay behind a shield. Pop Nano if you need to, and have Ryan win. That's my philosophy, I guess.
Peach, are you still here?
Yeah, but it's 550 per person he locks on. He's going to destroy that Rhine shield.
Hang on. What's the win condition here?
Shit. Honestly, I would probably go dive here because they have a May and a McCree, Lucio, Moira.
So your win condition is just swap the comp?
Yeah, because like the Shatter, they're not gonna be able to engage with the Shatter
Yeah.
unless they manage to get a flank off. And the Nano, I don't know what it's gonna be doing. You can Nano Doomfist, he's probably gonna get in there, but I mean they're already too close to ultimate. So what you want to do is engage to the fight earlier. So I would just swap to dive honestly and just try to like get a Lucio pick or a Moira pick instantly as fast as possible with dive because they have no mobility besides the Lucio and the Moira. And they have to
Here's
retreat.
your win condition. Right here. Is Maywall. That's win condition. Baiting out Maywall is your win condition. So, Sven, you were kind of correct until you started going on about this McCree over here. That doesn't matter. So, win conditions are very simple. And I just want to see what you guys thought about win conditions. That's why I kind of just like asked you guys without telling you. So a win condition can be as simple as blowing somebody's cooldown and as complicated as blowing like 4 of their ultimates. Fuck, I got a scrim. I was supposed to go do whatever. It's fine. Fuck them.
So you're saying the split, denying the split from the Maywall is the one condition?
Either killing May, which is going to be very difficult with double shield.
Yeah.
But
Just
your
bait the
main...
wall.
Just bait the wall. That's literally your win condition. Or sacrifice somebody. Probably your McCree. Or your Zarya. Zarya's at 18%. Fucking sack the Zarya.
Yeah, I'm a bot.
Like, okay, so I have a question about the baiting the wall now.
Okay.
So earlier we were like, okay, we're all just gonna go on point, right? And he obviously plays on a team that has that kind of coordination. With the comp we have now, like, I don't think you'd want to do that with like an Ana healer. Like, I think you'd want to bait it and then move in instead of like, you know, commit before it gets used.
Yeah. But baiting is a lot harder than just having all 6 people press W at the same time.
Okay. Just make the Ryan go shiny blue and he'll distract everybody.
Pretty much. So once you get, so win condition is once something happens that suddenly takes the advantage from here and moves it here, that's win condition. And it can be as simple as a cooldown. And this is perfect. I didn't plan this. It just so happened to be that this was the win condition that's here. Because this becomes the win condition because this gives us the opportunity to, I'm going to swap back to blue here. So let's say we sacrifice Zarya, right? Zarya goes over there, dies. It's okay. But we got Maywall out. We have Nano and Coalescence. Reinhardt's
Push.
60 to Shatter. Once that Zarya dies, yeah, we might be at a disadvantage, but if we pop Coalescence here and W key into them, we have a constant stream of healing. And we're not using Coalescence to just kill one single squishy. Like, she is going to be directly behind her tanks. We have a very good sight line. The red team's going to retreat back this way, which gives Coalescence a line. And is going to do healing and damage while Reinhardt goes fucking nuts and swinging his hammer. If he doesn't get Shatter online, which would be a huge surprise, you can just Nano, right? And if they're not dead after Nano Coalescence, you can Shatter. And that's going to be the win. That's gonna win you the fight. Yeah, you're gonna have to blow 3 ults, but that's because of the way the team comp was set up. It's just you're gonna have to use 3 because you're at such a disadvantage.
Is up.
Okay, Koji, can we bait wall first? Like you're going in before.
Yeah, somebody bait wall. Probably.
Everyone
Doom
just
or...
bunch up with me. Just bunch up with me, and we'll all try and go at once. Ready?
There we go. Go.
Go down there. Got the May.
I got Kree.
Where's the next? Risa. I'm
Who's
on
next?
Risa.
Risa. Mora.
Point, fight on point. Sigma.
Sigma on point. More low.
Both healers are down.
Big.
Alright, secure point. Okay, so they're gonna have probably pretty close to Bongo, pretty close to support ult, so you use Coalescence that fight.
So we got pretty lucky. They panicked. We used Nano, which is unfortunate. I'd rather you just use Coalescence because it charges faster. And we can combo this and this. It's a little bit more difficult to combo that and that. Alright, they're gonna call ult usage here. Let's see how correct they are.
Okay, so they're gonna have probably pretty close to Bongo, pretty close to support ult, so you use Coalescence that fight, so they're definitely gonna have that.
Hey, I'm gonna hide and Shatter.
Definitely gonna have Mailed. Watch Mailed.
Yeah, Mail and Creole pretty close to Sigma if they not.
So Pug has a terrible. So calling pretty close and them having it are two very different things. All right, as a shot caller, if somebody tells me they're pretty close to it but don't have it, I can take an early fight here and win.
Yeah.
Um.
That's like they'll have it mid-fight as opposed to like at the start of the fight.
Yep. Yeah. And so now they're walking in with it. Even if they're at 89%, like this is pretty fucking close. I can still win a fight.
Yeah, you might be able to focus her before she gets it, yeah.
Yeah. Or I can get a pick on somebody else to make her not use it.
Right.
And then I can worry about it later.
So you pretty much make them soft reset.
Yeah. And I'm buying myself more time to get to 63. So pretty close. Has it.
He called both support ults too.
Pretty close. He was wrong about this one. So not bad.
He also said
For
he used
first
Coalescence
scrim.
in this fight.
Yeah, and then but he said she has it. She probably has it. So I think he just misspoke. So if we go off of what his calls are, all I have to worry about, is High Noon and Coalescence.
He said they had bongos.
He said they were pretty close to Mongoose.
No. Re-listen to it. He said they have bongos and
Hey, I'm gonna
support
hide
ults.
and shatter.
They're gonna have mailed. What's the support ult? So you use coalescence that fight, so they're definitely gonna have that.
Hey, I'm gonna hide and
They're
shatter.
definitely gonna have mailed. Watch mailed.
Yeah,
Yeah, mail and Creole pretty close.
I'm
to
gonna-
they not
Before
have.
before they're talking
Plus the
about the
bongo,
support ults.
Secure point, secure point.
Yeah, plus the bongo.
Okay, so they're gonna have probably pretty close to bongo, pretty close to support. So you use coalescence that fight, so they're definitely gonna have that. They not.
I'm gonna hide and shatter. Bait them through the door. Tell them when they get through the choke.
He says
Yeah,
they
I
use
got you.
coalescence, they're gonna have it again.
That's really confusing. They have
Yeah,
coalescence,
that's
they don't
what
have
I'm working-
coalescence.
That's what I'm working with Pug on. Is like clear.
Dude, he's on like 100% adrenaline like every single time we play.
Yeah, dog. That's
Like,
how I use.
we told him to like tell him like, dude, just slow down. Remember that one time you're like, dude, breathe, just breathe.
Because I was like, what the fuck? I'm confused. And if the coach is confused, everybody's confused. Like, even yourself. Like,
I think our teammates can remember when I snapped on him last tournament.
Oh yeah.
Because he never shot calls for us or does like
Oh,
any
I heard
kind of
about
ult
that.
tracking. And he started trying to do it like middle of a tournament match, and like we were struggling.
Who did that?
God.
Pug.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
He's like calling pathing and everything. It's like, dude, we normally do this. It's fine, dude.
so if I was the enemy team, I would start off with bongos, initiate with bongos, follow up with coalescence, or I'll coalescence in, use bongos. I would save high noon, maybe send my McCree on a flank. You hear the Reinhardt, right? He says, I'm gonna set up for a flank shatter, right? So all y'all should be over here, setting up for the flank shatter and retreating this way. Because you don't want to bait him this way. It's harder to get a shatter. If Reinhardt can just walk out like this, and his cone is easier to hit like this than like this.
Dungeon
Fuck,
rings.
I drew that backwards.
So if someone calls out like they're setting up for a play, you want to make it easier for them to get whatever flank they need.
Yeah,
Aid the
and
play.
Koji knows that this pillar's right here, so they can block. Like, there's a tiny spot where they could kind of get through. This is more optimal to shatter this way.
Oh, they're top, they're
One
top,
healer,
they're top, they're top,
one
they're top,
healer,
they're top,
one healer.
Top left, top left.
They're top.
Got you, Peanut.
You pause it right here.
Alright, it's not worth me.
So this is where you want to set up on defense, is on the back side of the point when they're high ground like that.
Yeah, you just
To
wanna
force
stay
them off
back.
the high ground more or less.
Yeah, they have to come to you. So it's okay if you AFK right here. But you need to watch out in case they come over the top and jump down. Then
Right.
you would rotate this way. And just dance around the point.
Be hiding then.
Whoever this is right here doesn't need to be over here. Oh, fuck.
Oh fuck.
Whoever that was.
Top left, top left. Same 1 point.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
Zarya.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, they're top, they're
Top
top,
left,
they're top, they're top, they're top, they're top.
Yeah, this is
Top
the
left,
call
top
out.
left.
They're top.
Got you, Peanut.
Alright, it's not worth me hiding then.
That's
If it's
Zarya
on-
moving out.
Whoever that is, I can't see who it is.
That was me.
It's AznMusicMan.
Why?
It's
What?
Asian.
Hang on, Asian. What are you gonna do?
No, because I was on the left side of the choke. That's why, and I was trying to go. I was going through the point, basically. Wait, what?
You are not through the point. You are on the opposite side of the wall.
Oh no, dude.
Oh no.
Yeah, you are on your own. This forehead of a fucking team doesn't recognize it and should drop down and kill you.
Oh my god, dude. Asian.
Well, I'll get
He's
her
playing
to-
Widow Zarya.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
what, you gonna right click them? Like, are you gonna beam them? Like, I don't know what value Zarya can do here.
He's gonna make him chase him to Benny Hill music.
Oh god.
Just recognize that, Asian.
He's gonna taunt for mind games.
Taunt.
You're taking
menacingly.
unnecessary poke, you're not building ult, you're feeding,
Well, do you have any
you
combo?
run back, thank god.
Let's try to combo shatter and doom ult this fight.
Got
We
it.
have grab. Oh, no, we don't have grab. Grab's
Just
not
call
good.
out when you want to shatter. Like, give me like half a second notice.
There's the bongos, here's high noon,
Ryan, you're alone.
they walled.
I'm gonna get super surgery.
We got this. I got no shield here.
Oh, male. Wow. And Sigma?
Yeah, they're. This is not disciplined.
So my
They-
question is for the bongo, like, would it be optimal to use Dumo to just like immediately just one shot the bongo with Dumo there or not?
No. The call was shatter. Dumont.
Gotcha.
So we all should have rotated onto point. And play with our Reinhardt because we know they have a Mei. And as a shot caller, you need to call that out. They have Mei. Let's all play on point so we don't get walled. Why are we coalescing here? What the
I was
fuck
just
is
gonna ask that.
do?
That's a panic cue for sure.
It's panic queue. I've already talked to Poos about that. But everybody panic queues here. Throughout this whole entire game.
Fuck it, use all the ults.
Focus their supports. Actually here, Mace caught out, Mace caught out, Mace caught out.
Why are we doing pistol? The call was shatter.
Lucio low, Lucio.
Point flip. As a shot caller, you call, alright, everybody out. Die or get out. We're no longer gaining percentage. We're just feeding.
I also
Let's
found interesting
track.
that they use every single ult besides Shatter, by the way.
Pretty much.
Yeah, like, wow.
Lucio. More down, more down.
We force out
Frag
beats
out.
somehow.
We killed 3 of them, dude. Dude, that's why I said, fuck it, use all the ults.
Lucio.
Yeah, I was
So,
watching the video. Someone
you're
said
talk-
that it's better to use ult rush, like just to use all your ults sometimes, and just like force all their ults as well. Like it's a weird. I don't know how
I
it
got a
works.
question for you. You were talking about, the point was just flipped, right?
Yeah.
And it's not always as simple as, they flip the point. They might be down 5 and there's only one on point that flipped it. But like in this situation, the Mei went down, so they can't slow the fight down to their pace anymore. And we have a Doomfist that can just annihilate their squishies and tanks trying to hold point. Like, and we were only down our Rhine, so is that like, because you could see they're getting picks and flipping the fight back immediately.
Well, ideally, you want to pop Coalescence and Doomfist Soul.
Yeah.
Like, this is individual play being rewarded because they're a bad team.
Okay, I got you.
These are the type of plays I want to avoid.
Yeah.
Because you play a better team, you do that, they just come back and steamroll you. They come back quick. This team plays too slow.
Oh wait, Poos isn't a coach?
No. Koji's the coach.
Good recap.
McCree on high ground, McCree high ground.
They ground, they high noon, they blizzard.
Alright.
They burned Lucio ult.
Yeah, Lucio,
Good calls.
Big ult as well.
and Bongo.
So they use Sigil, but look where Sig is. He's at 50% already. After like half a fight.
And Bongo, so they're gonna
try and hide.
Coalescence. They at least have coalescence, yeah.
Coalescence.
They might
is
have
Sigil.
beat. They might have beat. Did he use beat?
They just use it this way. They just use it this way.
I'm gonna hide and shatter again. Tell me where they're coming.
Yeah, I got you.
Koji's just memeing by hiding in shatter.
Alright, they're doing top left again.
Alright, let him push.
You probably won't. You'll have little follow up on the shatter.
Have a card.
That's okay. I can kill him myself.
Huge purple.
Back up, Koji.
I got you.
Good bubble.
Lucio purple.
May on point.
May.
Hang on. I want to watch this. What do we not hear in this fight?
Any target calling.
Now watch what everybody's doing. Zarya. Good bubble, but why aren't you with your Reinhardt?
Wait.
I know he was on a flank shatter, but...
Oh, yeah,
I don't think anybody knew where he was set up before the shatter happened.
Yeah, I was playing close to point.
Or Doomfist.
Yeah.
Doomfist knew.
Yeah.
Big purple. Purple wasn't called. If you get a big purple, call your purple.
Back up, Koji.
I got you, Ko.
Lucio purple.
May on
Lucio's
point. May
not
on
purple.
point.
May.
Everybody's on a different target.
You hear that though? Listen to Koji. Oh my god, this is why I loved him. He's purposefully playing like a bot too. I told him to. I'm like, just try to carry him with your calls.
May. Everybody on May.
May on point. May on point.
May. Everybody on May.
He is all the way up here, not even looking at point. He is calling May because he hears the call. He is distracting the enemy team because he knows they're a bunch of plats. And you guys should all be. Right? He's distracting them because we're so close to 99. It's not the right play, but that's what he's doing. But he calls a fucking target without even seeing it.
I got you.
Get the ground here.
May.
Get me.
Your only grab in the whole entire game, and it was good. I'm happy.
May no wall. May down.
Got the May.
Sig out of position. He's one.
You guys are down one healer.
Sig. Everybody on Sig. Arisa next. More one. More no
One,
fade.
one,
no
one.
fade.
Got the Lucio. They're down on one healing. Arisa half.
More one. Arisa next. Arisa.
Arisa one.
Koji's literally carrying. You see it, right?
Stomper high ground.
Push forward.
Nice.
Nice job.
Nice.
You saw how he carried that, right?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go.
So if someone calls out a target, but someone else calls out that someone is 1, do you go for the target or the person that is 1?
If somebody is 1, that means they are a melee hit. So go for the person that's 1, because that just means you need to do a little chip damage, and then you can go back to the next target.
Cool.
I lie all the time on 1.
Oh, I do that too. Don't worry.
We all do it, and we all need to get better at that.
Oh no, I still do it to this day. It's because I want you all to focus the target, and I know if I yell out 1. So also think about that. If somebody's
It'll
calling
be
it
one shot, but it won't be melee 1. Yeah.
If somebody's calling somebody 1, it means it's important and they're low, and they can die.
What I think usually when they say 1 is like you just burst them down because they're literally just weak. That's what I think. Usually just burst them down as fast as possible.
I'll usually call half or 1. That's all I ever call.
That's typically how the call goes. Rarely do I get good 1 calls. But
Maybe,
I still focus them.
Maybe if we think of 1 calls as they're the number 1 target.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying.
I used to call bars, but people don't understand it sometimes. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Peachy, that's too big.
Dude, I got bad eyesight. You can't be calling bars on me.
I don't even know what fucking color team I am half time.
Look how many bars Winston has. Are you counting all those bars? Like, come on, dude.
Winston 17. Winston 17.
Winston 17 bars?
No, I'm like
Each
3
bar
bars,
is
2
25.
bars. That's what I used to say. I used to say like 3 bars, 2 bars. You know, it's like they have an idea of how much they know and stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I want to go to King's Row.
Uh-oh. I'm here.
Isn't that where Gilly was like in the comms? Did I give you her comms at all?
No.
Koji just DMs you. Do I tell them my rank?
I saw that. Koji talking shit.
Oh, I talk shit with him too about you guys. I'm like, look at these fucking foreheads, dude. They thought that was a dive. Oh, like, yeah, no, we talk shit all the time. It's not bad. It's just.
You talk shit about me?
I talk shit about everybody, dog.
That's it. I'm
I'm
beating up my coach.
It's how I get better at the game.
Yeah, no, we talk shit.
I'm joking.
It's how you communicate in Overwatch. Everybody talks shit. Raymond even went into it. Like he was
It
talking shit with-
desensitizes people. It's fine.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this fucking team with their
I wanna
goddamn
play with you, Koji.
icons.
I'm sorry, dog.
Dude, it's been too long.
We used to spell ass because I'm a fucking. We used the A and then.
Oh, yeah,
two
when-
eyes, A.
when the whole-
It was last year.
When we had the whole plat team play together on comp one day, we all did the Overwatch League icon, so we look intimidating.
And then we lost.
And then we won.
But stuff that simple can really like influence how you play.
Hey.
In a good way or bad way?
Hog, and then
hang on.
I am this, so I'll
In a
go
good way.
May, and then Ghost Fans, you want to go like a widow? Or
What's with Pug making all these calls lately? Usually he's not this talkative.
Or fair.
Because he wants to be a shot caller. So I told him he can call.
I feel like
And
this happened ever since Tabs called him out on that one day. I feel like that's when Bob became more talkative.
It's not a bad thing, it's just, wow.
what I'm about to do to Pug is what you need to do in game. When it happens.
You guys have Moira or Anna, whichever.
Oh, Ghost Pants is in here.
I want this. No, I like this. I like this.
Easy peachy.
Alright, I
Yeah.
trust you, Koji. You're God.
Not a fan of Moira, but that's alright.
Building confidence.
Sorry, Guillotine, I had to sub you out.
So all that's fucking played in GM nowadays is fucking Moira.
Okay, so whoever calls a target, I want everybody, all fucking 5 other people, to say that target's name.
Okay.
So if Koji calls
That doesn't
Mercy,
happen at
everybody
all
else
this
is
scrim. I
Mercy.
was pretty pissed.
Okay.
I was pretty tilted at this point.
Really?
If it's just like in a random
Yeah,
place, you can.
no
I
ways
know
calling target.
Poeto usually echoes when we
Make sure
play.
you stay on point.
Yeah, he usually does, but he's trying to shot call.
Alright.
So he's calling targets too.
I'll hook him as well. What are you running? I think
Widow?
I see a Widow. They have Widow. She has immortality.
Yeah.
Go
That's
Widow
pretty
kill her.
clever. Alright,
Slippery old charge.
Oh, this
You
is
ready?
their
I'm gonna pull.
attack.
Everybody's in,
I wanna
everybody's in,
watch when we're on attack.
Just hold this cover.
Yeah, yeah.
Refresh shield as you can.
Yeah, just yeah.
That's
Don't
our
have
We're gonna
Defense.
build ult. Symmetra is gonna be the
Yeah,
first one to build
I'm
ult here.
skipping
Yeah,
to
they're gonna
attack.
teleport on a point here.
And
I
I
wanna
think I
reset.
just broke the bot. We're still on attack. Buffer faster. Here we go. So the other team capped with 2 minutes to spare, 2-2-2. So Potato's feeling the fucking pressure. I won't call him Poeto until he's not a potato.
Symmetra shit.
The casters call him Potato too, so it's fine.
Yeah, they did. Don't worry.
Double shield Symmetra TP.
Okay, listen to this.
Double shield Symmetra TP.
Fuck!
I always
Potato.
Want to go like Symmetra shit?
Yeah.
That's a fine call.
Double shield Symmetra TP.
Let's go, dude.
I
Symmetra
always
shit.
wanna go Symmetra.
I love Symmetra shit.
You're the king.
And then like a bat.
Goose is already dead.
And yeah.
1 second instead of
I want to see a double main kill, and I want to see.
Bap and Ana is good.
Ana is not good.
No,
Okay,
no,
so
never.
They teleported to the high ground because they had Bastion.
Stop burning Ana.
So what I want to do here
I don't care if it's their
is I
comfort
want to
pick.
teleport, you know, like right behind the statue, that high ground.
Yeah, they run Ana Lucio
like,
or
closest
no Ana.
visible on their side. I don't know if I could really explain that very well.
Or Ana Zen.
But just go on my TP.
But never
Just
run
make
Zen
sure
in
I'll
this
call for
meta.
the shield. It's gonna be on choke that I need to
QQ.
TP. Well, actually, no. Okay, check it out. We're gonna go into
Tab,
the
how do you
window.
feel about that
Go
no
into the
Zen?
window.
Here it is.
I don't know,
What's
dude.
up, buddy?
Take it.
Check, just make
Here's
sure
the
I'll
Zen?
call for visible on their side. That high ground, like teleported to the high ground because they had Bastion. So what I want to do here is I want to teleport, you know, like right behind the statue, that high ground, like closest visible on their side. I don't know if I could really explain that very well.
So he wants to go behind the
But,
tree
just
on the
go my
right.
TP. Just make
He
sure
wants to
I'll
do
call for
exactly
the
what they
shield.
did
It's gonna
last
be on
time.
choke.
Oh,
Hang on.
okay.
Hang on. The plan changes last minute, and I get fucking so confused. So I'm like, wait, he wants to teleport here? I'm like, no, he wants to teleport high ground. I'm like, does he mean this high ground? And I'm like, why wouldn't
That's
he
what
just
it sounds
TP
like.
this way? Like, and then so I got confused. This is where my brain's at. I'm like, where is he trying to teleport? Like on point behind this tree?
Where do they try to teleport, and where do
From
they
my
actually
deduction, from my deduction, it looks like they're calling out
Yeah,
here.
that's what I thought too. The yellow one.
So look, we're all thinking different things, right? Now listen to the next call. This is what you should not do as a shot caller.
Really explain that very well. But just go on my TP. Just make sure I'll call for the shield. It's gonna be on choke that I need the TP. Well, actually, no. Okay, check it out. We're gonna go in the theater. We're gonna go through the window.
Take a deep breath.
What's up, buddy?
Take a deep breath, dog.
I'm gonna flank while you guys do that. And
Just
try to
tell
get
me
that.
what you're gonna do.
Let's
Tell
go through the
me-
theater. Go into the window, and at the window, I'll have sidelines of the high ground that I want to TP to.
Perfect. Holy shit, we wasted like 30
Pathing.
seconds on pathing. Instead of, we're not even scouting right now. We're not even listening for this May fucking shooting. Like, if we heard this in spawn, if somebody cranked up their volume, which teams do, by the way, and ask everybody to be quiet, and they crank up their volume to 100%, they hear that May shoot, or that Lucio switch from speed to heals. Like, people do this shit. That would totally change going to here, because May can just wall window.
I would go the high ground right at the hotel.
or we could go here, or we could go through here and telly up here. Like,
Hell yeah.
there's so many other options. But I finally got him to fucking say what he wanted. Okay,
we can
well,
tell you on top of
as
stage.
Yeah, I
was
saw
just gonna say
Bastion do
that.
that a couple of times. That's
like
fun.
recognizing when somebody's like rambling and trying to get their thoughts together through speaking, and just like, even if you're not shot calling, being able to calm your shot caller down. Like, my team never calmed me down. Like, occasionally they would, and my brain would just keep firing, and I'm like, fuck, 10 seconds, fuck, and I haven't even communicated half the other things I want to communicate.
Basics,
I think at
calm
that
down.
point you're doing too
Yeah.
much. Like,
Yeah, I'm doing too much. Exactly.
We'll
Going
drop
through
on.
Let's go, dude.
theater, going to window. Cool.
I'm gonna flank his Doomfist, so you guys do that, and then I go the other way.
Cool, we're
Okay.
flanking as Doomfist. Perfect.
Where the fuck's the Doomfist?
It's on Widow.
I'm pulling Sig.
Where's the Sigma? Where's the Sigma?
Can we get in theater?
I was trying to.
They have a May.
See,
They're gonna
Koji's still confused on the call. He thought this was theater.
Okay, Sigma, give me
I
a
did
shoot at
too,
the
that's why I
window.
didn't move camera.
Alright, do it.
There you go. There's the high ground. Push up.
Go around, go around, go around. Around. I'm going for a pull.
I'm focusing on shields.
Yeah, break 6.
Look at this group.
Good. Sig, no
There's a
shield.
McCree on our left. McCree on our left.
There's no
More
McCree
half?
on our left.
Where are we at? Right underneath?
Ooh, okay, so yeah, there's like 3 of them inside. I don't know why I dropped down. That was my fault.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's that calling?
They're all inside the building.
Anti, full anti.
Which one?
It
Like,
was
yeah.
Pug, and then Pug said I dropped, I don't know why, and then he's like, yeah, I don't know why you did. Who was that?
Koji.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, bud.
What are we doing?
I'm getting frozen. We're
Reviewing. You want me to screen share?
Oh, we're about to be
No.
done.
free in
after
there.
this
No buildings.
fight.
No buildings. No free.
Fine.
Left side. Back left.
Target.
I was just in a
Are you
place
serious?
of calm. Everyone was
Are you
just-
Sigma? May one.
Okay, hang on. This is important. Like, I had to fucking say call a fucking target, please, but watch how fast things die.
They're all free in there. They have no buildings. They have no buildings. They're all free. Left side. Back left.
Target.
Do we focus the mayor?
Are you
Sigma.
May one.
There you go. Nice.
Mortar's in the back.
Wow, things actually die when we target call. We almost lost that fight.
We called 5 targets, but finally people said May.
Yeah, finally people said, and even though we said 5 different targets, everybody focused their resume. Like, even though those 2 targets were called, they died. That's all I need right now. That's all I want from you guys. Is just like, at this point, I'm hoping, like, it's sad, but I'm hoping at least 2 people are focusing the same target when a target's called. Like, that's where we're at with you guys. And that's what's so frustrating, is because I can't teach you anything else until you can do this. Until all 6 people can get on the same target.
Back. She's
Oh,
ulting.
yeah,
I'm
fam.
down.
I have a question.
You guys should win
Yeah.
that.
Do you think it's better
One
for
point,
like
one point,
3
one
people
point,
to
one
focus on one target
behind,
and
two behind.
another 3 people focus on another target?
TP is here,
No.
guys. You can get on point
You guys
fast.
got it. You guys got it.
No, we don't
That
win.
heals anyone.
That is... I feel like that
we're
particular
sucking
scenario that
combo.
we just watched happens way too often.
Okay, that's a one dude dead.
Where they, like, recap.
They have
Y-
no
It's
tank.
always
Someone
one
can
target.
hop
It's
on
like a
wall.
Lucio, a Moira that we can't kill, somebody
Chris, that's
somebody
it.
that's a squishy. It's never a tank, and we can like we all call it, and everybody just like that. It was lollygag and haphazardness, while the Moira just was like floating around doing shit.
Let me see what happens. I will analyze. And the reason why I say 3 people on 2 different targets is because it's just more beneficial to have all 6 people on one target and just kill.
Alright. As I just thought that it'd like have 3 people damage one person
Where's the
and
one?
kill it fast, and then that's just my opinion though. That's fine.
No. That's no. You kill it a lot faster.
So
you
we're
confirm the
even.
kill. We're even.
May one.
They're down 2.
Still.
They popped
Moira's
goal
in the
last
back.
one.
Moira's in the back.
We're down 3. They're down
Our
3.
Doomfist misses his punch.
The Lucio and McCree are coming from spawn. They're not even near the point yet.
We lost 2 to Coalescence. Hang on, let me analyze it and I'll tell you. Doomfist misses his E. She dashes. Koji's not looking at front. They're coming in a group of 3. Or heal ball goes out. That way, signal shot there. Doomfist dies to the McCree that was walking this way. That's why you guys lost it. He wasn't behind shield. And Arissa wasn't behind shield. They both should have rotated here.
So I should have put a shield in front of main then if Arissa wasn't paying attention there, or what? That was coming back from spawn?
There's not much you can do from spawn, but your Arissa Doomfist shouldn't be positioned over here. They should be positioned this way, and shield should be like this, because just in case the respawn comes out this way.
Yeah.
And Doomfist should have been taking his punch from here.
Gotcha.
Fair.
More point.
And then you call Moira point, you're both shooting at her, perfect. The Hulk comes out. Moira's not taking enough damage, you're missing your shots, he's missing his shots. This fat ass group's coming in.
So now it's a numbers game, and we're outnumbered.
Koji dies.
TP is here, guys. You can get on.
We're trying to clutch, you should be running out, we're trickling. Baptiste is trying to save him.
Point fast.
You guys got it.
No, we don't win.
Heals anyone, dude.
Late immortality.
Why do we...
Rissa, we can combo.
We're still going in, we're still poking. Poeto almost dies. We could have nanoed Pichu here. And we could have Doomfist ulted out of spawn. Or we could have Doomfist ulted out of spawn and nanoed Doom on the slam. If we really wanted to win that fight.
Okay, that's a one dude dead. They have no
We're still
tanks
poking.
so far. Okay, I have Wakanda wall.
We used nade for some reason.
Rissa, save your pull from my ult.
Potato, I'm nanoing you.
Got it.
Alright, sounds good.
Tell me when you want it.
Once I'm full charge, I want it.
Okay, I'll tell
Push
you
aggro.
when.
Alright,
Yeah, I'm
shoot.
Wakanda wall to engage. Wakanda wall to engage. Let's go.
Can you pull?
Huge. Give it to me.
Enormous. Sig one.
Why did we pop 3 ults?
Nice shot.
Push up with me, Sig.
Because nobody's listening to shot caller. Poeto said we're gonna engage with Wakanda wall. DPS made an audible to that, which is fine. We're gonna use Arissa pull, which is a cooldown, and my Doomfist ult. And then we're gonna use wall. That's fine. 2 ults. That's okay. But we use 4.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was like, why did we support out there?
Yeah, nobody's listening, that's why.
That's the supports.
Did anybody get low that they had to use nano?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see a need for nano. And the
we were
Matrix was
respawning.
definitely a waste.
We were respawning. There's no way we needed that much ult.
It was just an audible, not listening. Not listening. Well, panicking. This one panicking. This one not listening.
Cheers, give it to me.
Sorry, I got quiet because I went into analyzation mode. This is usually what I do by myself when I watch a video. Is I like draw on the screen and just get real quiet and take notes. And listen to comms. So like, I guess the biggest takeaways here is like always be listening. Trust your shot caller. You can make audibles, that's fine. Just make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
We never once checked, like, remember how I said, like, engagements are like taking turns, right? We attack, we defend. We attack, we retreat. We attack, we retreat. Like, it's all about
push.
taking
It's
turns.
push and pull until you get
Push
an
and pull, there we
opportunity.
go. Yeah. Especially in double shield.
It's like fishing.
Pretty much.
We used to have that in boxing is the push and pull of it. Like
Boxing.
if they're
Appreciate it very much.
if they're punching at you, you're supposed to pull back and soften the blow, and then you try to. It's all about timing. You wanna catch them in the timing of them coming in while you're pushing. This is more like looking for opportunities.
So you know how we were calming today in ranked? like I can how I said I don't even have to talk and I can actually just play DPS. Like I can paint that mental picture in my head of what's happening and where everybody's at just through your comms.
You mean the
Like
game in
nobody
Nevada?
was calling their exact position like I'm on 19, their Moira's on 32. Like nobody was saying that. But I can get a mental picture as Tracer of where the enemy is based on my knowledge and awareness of where my team is, right? And I know that I can get this pick because somebody said Moira's alone, no dash. Okay, me as Tracer, dead. Like I didn't even have to even ask. So those type of comms we had today in comp need to happen here in scrim before I can even move on to teaching you guys meta and meta plays and call outs on maps and like how to run double shield on King's Row and how to hold them above the shield and what you do when that happens. Like, do we throw it on a nade? Do we throw Baptism Mortality? W key in? Do we run the Maid? Do we run the Doomfist? Stuff like that. Cool.
It's like I told you before. It's like I'm used to so much of the solo play. They're like, I can see all these cooldowns happening. There. I can see when McCree use Flash. I can see when Zarya uses Multi. I can see when D.Va has Matrix. I just don't call them out because like I'm so used to solo queue that like nobody listens. I keep forgetting. I'm in a team now, so I gotta get used to that. That's why.
Treat your comp teams like your team.
We need to do that. I've been saying that. Everybody's like fucking doing their own shit in comp, including myself.
Well, no, if you should be solo queuing comp.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant like when we play together in comp, we don't treat it like it's a scrim. Like the mentality is insanely different.
Yeah, we all do our own heroes. We try to do the hero plays.
Yeah, you still play like individuals. But for some reason today, when I was playing, everybody was playing like it was a scrim. I'm like, I won't be in games for your guys' scrim. I hope you know that.
I had a tank that actually had a brain once. Where's once?
Who wants to queue?
Me.
Not the time. Not the play.
Oh no, we're done.
We're gonna queue.
Let's queue. I wanna play Overwatch. I have an itch.
Thanks, Basics.
No problem.
Basics, you're epic.
Yeah, dude. You're poggers, dude.
I don't call anyone just epic.
I was fucking supposed to go to scrim. Awkward.
Oh, for the tryouts?
No, for another team that I was.
Are you cheating on us?
About coaching.
Huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn, what are you?
You guys don't use me. So
Two-timing son of a bitch.
Hey, he did ask, and I said he could, but we gotta be priority A.
Basics.
You guys don't use me, so I got free time. If I don't have free time, I'll drop them. Frostum, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Tell me I smell, bitch.
Basics, you got a minute to chat real quick?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Is prep on?
Nope.
Basics, are you queuing with us?
Not if we're chatting real quick.
Yeah, give us 5.
Okay. Who? Okay. What are off tanks again? Fucking, what's his name?
Off tanks?
Yeah, yeah, isn't it like D.Va, Road, Wrecking Ball, Zarya?
Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball can be both.
Yeah.
Sigma is off tank, by the way.
Is he? He's both. He's also. He's
I mean,
much
nobody
more.
plays Zarya, so he's kind of more off right now.
Actually, I've played a lot of Sigma Zarya in comp.
Well, he ends up being your main tank anyway, so you can't run like
I think that's when everybody's trying to figure out the meta. Now it's just off tank. No, I don't know any of the higher level teams actually run Zarya. They all run Sigurissa.
Sigurissa, yeah.
Because like Halt Rock is super strong. I mean, his ult is super strong. He can eat shit like D.Va. It's just.
Yep. The same with Ball. You don't run Ball D.Va. You run like Ball Winston. You run Ball Ryan, Ball Orisa, or something like that. You don't run Ball D.Va because Hammond isn't really a main tank. You can use him as a main tank, but it's like depends on what you're running though.
Yeah, he's kind of a main tank because he engages fights. He makes space for the team, you know.
Who, Ball?
It's his
Yeah,
adaptive
Ball.
shields that can make him into a main tank because he gets some tanky. That's why. That's the reason why. Because he makes space just by rolling and like disturbing the enemy and just like
Yeah, he can do like point pressure plays and stuff
Yeah.
just to take space by making the enemy team peel back to
Yep.
point.
Eating cooldowns and stuff like that. It's like the reason why.
Since I'm an off tank, I'm
Harassing.
forced to play more off tanks.
Gotcha.
Sigma.
Honestly, out of all people, I mean, have I told you guys about this?
What?
Because during the tryouts, I played practically Mercy like 90%
Oh,
of
right,
the
right,
time.
right. Yeah, we were there. We saw.
Yeah, but I ended up as off tank, so I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, because Prepaid said you were like literally the best off tank player he had in the whole scrims of that day. That's what he said.
I played Sigma once.
And apparently that was good enough for him to choose you as the off tank player. There you go.
I'll take it. But I have to
I
practice
only
my
ever saw
Diva
you
bombs.
play Mercy. What the fuck?
What?
Weren't you playing Mercy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I ever saw you play. I didn't know you played
Exactly,
off
that's what I'm
tank.
saying.
Oh no, you're not a Mercy main anymore.
No, I wasn't ever a Mercy main, I'll kill you.
Justice ain't gonna dispense itself.
No. What defines a main? Tell me what defines a main.
You play a Mercy on every match. Every comp.
Because Mercy's good. Mercy is good.
No, she's not.
Her res is so powerful, and her survivability is very like
yeah, high mobility. Yeah. But other than that, like vertical maps, Gibraltar, I'd use the hell out of Mercy with
For
dive.
high ground. For high ground, yep.
Yeah.
Well.
I played Mercy only for this game. I never played Mercy, but like you literally have a comp that's literally grounded the whole game. That's stupid. Like I would never run Mercy into that.
I play Mercy if I want to pressure my Widow. It's like, yeah, hit the shot, hit the shot, hit the shot, hit the shot.
I do that too, yeah. But I do it more than the Nano, just to piss them off. I give the Nano, it's like, now you gotta hit every single shot, buddy, or else that Nano goes to waste, and you're throwing, by the way.
Dude, I would like Nano.
Every time I get
Nano
Nano as a Mercy, I just go battle Mercy.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Back into the
You're making space by distracting the enemy team.
Yeah.
You're a tank.
Pepper, are you? What are you? Oh, you're in the team. Okay.
Yeah,
Some people like
unfortunately.
can't tell who's a coach, who's in the team.
It's on the coaches.
Meteor strike.
I give everyone bad advice. I'm here to salt you with bad information.
I've been watching. I watch a lot of, or at least used to more so often. Like Overwatch videos. Like analyzing stuff, how to play stuff, strats, tips, all that fun stuff. And I did that for like every hero I could, I think, like taking in, because I define myself as a flex player.
I mean, you're just building game sense, really.
Yeah.
Like how heroes want to play.
And yeah, if you learn every hero, then when you're playing against them, you know them. You know what they could do. You know what they would do. Yeah. So basically, I'm big brain.
I just hate swapping off for them.
You see that Zarya in front of the Ryan, you're like, oh yeah, you got grabbed, don't you?
You know what I'm upset about? When I play Widow in training mode, I can headshot everyone, like without missing at all.
They're not moving.
They're moving smoothly.
Yeah, they're
Not
moving
like
in
a
a straight line.
crackhead.
But when I play comp or like quick play, it's just like, bro, let me hit the shot.
Bro, please stop, I'm trying to kill you, bro.
And then the enemy Genji keeps diving. One time I played quick play, I waited for like 6 minutes, and this Genji literally wouldn't let me play the game. I set up for like 5 seconds, and Genji's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
That's his job, yep.
Yeah.
This life's never
He's got the verticality and the dash and the deflect.
And it's not hard to carry quickly.
I was so upset.
Do something.
It's time.
Playing head scan for me is like a 50-50 gamble. Yeah. Like if you ask me what's the likelihood of me getting value with a certain hero, I can give you a rough percentage. Like for McCree, I'd say 70% actually. Genji, I haven't played him in a while, so I can't accurately say, but I'd say like 75. Hanzo 50%. Ash 40%. Sombra 60%. Mercy 100%. Because Mercy is easy to play. Ana, 85%, 90%. Moira 90%. Roadhog 90%. That kind of stuff.
Enemy needs
I could go through the whole roster, but actually I should go through my takes. My off takes.
How good are you at juggling Genjis that are blading on Winston?
3 kills.
Aren't you gonna be tank?
Off tank, apparently.
2 kills.
Oh.
So,
I guess you went so full.
Diva, I'd say 70% chance. Roadhog 90.
So every off tank, you can play Diva, you can play Itscan, don't worry.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Exactly.
Fuck, dude.
Dodgeball. Oh my god, that movie's sold, dude.
Wrecking Ball. Zarya. What defines a good Zarya?
Killing everybody.
Farming grab in like less than a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, grab farming, like